Good morning, Raptor freaks. Alexiot's here. It is Saturday morning, so we do the Saturday Share the Love Club, and I'm still out here at the cottage. So we've got the backdrop of the nice natural landscape, the birds chirping out here in cottage country. A nice, beautiful rain over the night last night, keeping the rain nice and rainy around Toronto and in Ontario right now. And today, for the Saturday Share the Love Club, we're celebrating our play-by-play announcer since 2008. Matt Devlin. That's right, Matt Devlin. We love you. I love you so much, Matt Devlin. Honestly, I want to tell a little story about Matt Devlin and I, as far as like, I didn't like Matt Devlin in the very beginning of when he started with the Raptors. I very much was a huge Chuck Swirsky fan. Chuck Swirsky is a Raptors icon no matter what. Even if he went to the Bulls afterwards, he will always be in our memories of his calls and the way he used to do games with Jack back in the day. Onions, baby, onions. Get out the salami and cheese, mama. This game's over. I mean, I love Chuck. Chuck was so badass. And like, he loved Canada too. But then Chuck had to go to the States and work for the Bulls on the radio because of certain things that happened in his family. And also just had to go back to the States. He didn't necessarily want to do that. Well, the Raptors had to replace him, and they brought in this guy from like Charlotte Bobcats, Memphis Grizzlies, NBA TV. He was a younger guy, and he was coming in, and he was kind of, to me, he felt like the generic announcer guy. Like when Matt Devlin first showed up and took the job here in Toronto, I was like, this dude's just like very, like, he's good. He's very much like the normal announcer guy, but man, he's just kind of generic announcer guy to me. I felt like that because he was really, really good at his job, really, really professional, really on point. But in some ways, it's like, man, I want some more of that personality, kind of like Chuck Swirsky, because he just had a certain thing to him. So in the beginning, I was rejecting Matt Devlin because I loved Chuck that much. And it's really, really hard to make up for an icon in Toronto Raptors land like Chuck Swirsky. And it took a little while for a diehard Raptor freak like myself at that time to accept Matt Devlin. Well, and over the years, I have. In fact, at this point, I see him as not just an equal of Chuck Swirsky's, if not even better than Chuck Swirsky at this point with his calls, because over time, we got to know Matt Devlin's personality much better. My worries of him being just another cardboard cutout announcer kind of guy were totally unfounded. And he was exactly the opposite of that. In fact, he has put so much personality into his calls on the games recently that he has just become such a fun dude. Like, I enjoy hearing Matt Devlin call the game because he's just fun. He has an ability to be very serious and professional and do the game justice, but also at the same time, he's not above having a little giggle or a little fun mixed in the middle of it. We love you so much, Matt. And when I heard that you dropped the weight on your foot this summer and that you were laid out with a cast, I was sad because I know that you're such an active person and doing all kinds of different things in the summer. And I knew that this would change your plans this summer, obviously, because you can't get around. Well, I really wish you a speedy, speedy recovery, Matt Devlin. And we know you'll be back on time to be back for the Raptors call, this exciting new season, new era of Darko basketball and people like Gradey Dick and different people showing up recently. I know your enthusiastic and fantastic, passionate call will be there once again. You have all your signature lines too, calling out different places from all over the country with the threes and stuff like that. And just, you really put a really good, strong excitement embellishment in your call. That from Montreal to Toronto dunk for Chris last year was a fantastic call. There's so many iconic Raptor memories and moments that are voiced by Matt Devlin and his fantastic voice and just the way he delivers. So good. And so over time, he really won me over. And that's a huge compliment, seriously, because I'm such a diehard, loyal kind of guy that really kind of like, Chuck is my dude. I really did love Chuck. But now I can say Matt is definitely my dude also. And in some ways, these guys, I don't see them as being better than each other in some ways. They're both very, very good play-by-play announcers in the Raptors history, and they both need to be celebrated and respected and loved in their own ways. Matt, in some ways, we've learned more and more about him and his sons, his family, and just so many great things about him. He's just such a good dude. And I want y'all to talk about what you enjoy or your favorite Matt Devlin moments in the chat today. And just let's share the love for Matt, who's honestly in an unexpected position right now. And maybe he has time to watch this because he's kind of, got to be in bed. And maybe he'll look up his hashtag and he'll be like, oh, Raptor Freak, what is this? And he was like, oh, share the love club for Matt Devlin. Listen, Matt, we want you healing up quick, sending all kinds of healing vibes from our brains towards you. And hopefully you heal up. And as you said, you have the goal of being ready for the regular season this year. I hope you get there, and I know you will. You're just that kind of guy. I've heard crazy things about your injury, like you've broken a lot of bones in your feet. And even some nasty rumor was out there that you might have to have your foot amputated. I don't think that's true. That's hearsay or some sort of weirdness. Somebody, I think my dad read that rumor, and he was telling me about it. He's like, I haven't heard that. That sounds crazy. And that just goes to show you can't trust anything on the internet at this time right now. You really, really can't. So Matt Devlin, keep doing what you're doing. The fun that you have with Jack Armstrong on the broadcast, it cannot be duplicated. You guys literally are like goofy best friends that can like really go really weird places. And I love the camaraderie and the rapport and the chemistry between you and Jack is amazing. It's amazing at times. The fact that you can have 5-minute giggle fest on there and it's totally entertaining and it doesn't take away from the game. The fact that you guys interact with Drake in the middle of the game, all the different little things that y'all do during the game to make it fun. Like y'all were eating like patties or something during the game, or roti or something. In one of the games at near the end of the season. And I'm like, these dudes need to they chew their food while they're talking. They're talking with their mouth full. And I was like, that's unprofessional, but they make it professional. In some sort of way, if anybody's going to make eating food while they're doing a game professional, it'll be Matt Devlin and Jack Armstrong. And then, of course, Matt Devlin has a totally different style when he's calling it with Alvin in some ways. I mean, he's still light in the same kind of personality, but, he has to call it a little bit different when he's with Alvin. And he does a fantastic job, too, with that broadcast pairing. Alvin Williams is one of my favorite Raptors of all time. And I love how Matt really works with Alvin and helps him get better. I know he's a huge part of why Alvin Williams has improved over the years as announcer for the Raptors. And I'm so happy about that. Alvin has done some really, really hard work, but I know Matt Devlin's a mentor to him. And he'd probably tell you that. He's like, Matt helps me so much in so many different ways. So we love you, Matt Devlin. And it was awesome earlier in the season, this summer, to hear you do the Blue Jays games once again. We love that you moonlight as one of the Blue Jays announcers. We hear you on CFL from time to time. You do other sports too, and we love hearing your voice pop up. And we're so proud that you are the voice of the Toronto Raptors at this point. That when you go other places and your voice is heard in other places, you definitely associate the Toronto Raptors at this point with such iconic calls like during the championship run. So much good stuff. Matt Devlin became a Canadian citizen in 2019 when we were getting our championship. So he is a Canadian also, born in Syracuse, New York, and being an upstate New York kind of guy. That's why him and Leo get along so well. It's the Syracuse connection. But there's so much love we have for you, Matt, and your family. And I just wish you the most healing vibes and get back on your feet as quickly as possible. And, this summer may be a summer of retrospection and just kind of taking stock of your life and how amazingly blessed you are, Matt. Because I know you're that kind of guy. You're very blessed with so many different things in your family, your job, all kinds of different stuff. And you're the kind of dude that really appreciates it and takes it like not for granted. So you go, Matt Devlin. I love you so much, Matt Devlin. And I want you to heal up quick and get back to being back on the broadcast. Because sometimes I swear you come to the game with a couple of mushrooms that you ate earlier, those magic mushrooms. Because I feel like sometimes you have wild psychedelic takes in some of the things you're saying. Like you can get out there, man. And it's like I've joked that you maybe eaten marijuana brownie or something like that because sometimes you're very loose and wild on the call. And I love it. I love it so much. That was a big part of why I was like, man, Matt is not ordinary at all. That I really had to change my opinion on that because I really did think he was like, this dude is just generic announcer guy. He looks like generic announcer guy, and he comes in with a very professional, very, very professional, very clean cut, concise delivery. And the way he does his job, well, he's shown more and more personality over the years as we've gone. And I'm so here for it, Matt. You just keep being you. You guys are perfect. And what y'all are doing is fantastic. You entertain the Raptors Nation so well with your call in the broadcast booth. We love you. The Raptor Freak Nation loves you, Matt Devlin. You get better now. Nameless is here first. Let's see what Nameless is saying. Scotty, Christian, and Gradey are going to be here for a long, long time, 12 plus years. Remember who told you that first. They needed to draft a person they could retain indefinitely. And this kid is an absolute gem of a character, an individual. I've already fallen in love. Look at this. Nameless's cold heart has warmed to the craziness and goofiness of Gradey Dick. Wow. We've seen the footage of Gradey showing up here in Toronto. He's outside the Scotiabank Arena last night around 9 p.m. And those lucky fans that just happened to be in the vicinity got the chance to step up and take a picture with the brand new first-round pick of the Toronto Raptors, Gradey Dick, out of Kansas. And I love seeing him in Toronto. He's there with his mom. And you could tell, like, listen, this is one thing I've noticed about Gradey. He's from a small town. He's from Wichita in Kansas. And it's not a small town. It's a city. But in some ways, anywhere in Kansas is a small town. Seriously, let's get real here. And, in some ways, he's going to have his parents around him. I can tell his parents are very invested in keeping him raised right and keeping him out of trouble. And that's a good thing, honestly. If his parents are going to be around, as long as they're not being like Michelle Carter, I will have no problem with them being around the franchise all the time and helping Gradey stay on track and be professional and do good things for himself. In some ways, it's good for these guys to have their parental guidance around them when they get into this situation in the NBA with a lot of money, being very young in a new city, a completely new city. So in some ways, I'm not worried about Gradey being some sort of crazy party guy or some sort of drug guy, just because I saw his mom with him at Jurassic Park last night. So that's a good thing. We want him to have a strong bond with his parents and to very much be a good kid, because we don't want him to get into that bright lights, big city kind of mode. No, we don't. No, we don't. Because this dude could eat it up quick. He gets Drake's key to the city, and look out. Gradey Dick could go crazy on this city. And in some ways, we don't really want that. We want him to stay focused. And the fact that his folks are around is probably a good thing. Trust me. Very cool to see him down there near the Scotiabank Arena. Of course, they had the big graphic of welcoming Gradey to Toronto. And he's feels like this is such a big deal. He's like, holy crap, there I am on the big screen on the Scotiabank Arena. And this is for real now. This is for real. And he's like, he called it home. Man, this is going to be awesome. Seriously, I'm getting so many weird feelings about Gradey being on our team that are good. There's a lot of good implications and different things. Like seeing the footage of him talking to Darko and Darko telling him he got drafted by us. Darko telling Markquis Nowell. There's a lot of new things happening right now that are very, very good in Raptors land, like new developments. I think these 3 new guys we got just recently, Darko, Gradey, and Markquis, are going to be big, huge factors for the Raptors in their season coming up this year. So watch all 3 of them. Obviously, the coach is going to do something. Gradey will probably do something. And don't sleep on Nowell. I'm telling you right now, Nowell's coming with a vengeance. He has a big, huge chip on his little shoulder, and he's coming with a vengeance. Trust me. Yeah. I like your idea, Nameless. I'd love to see that core around for a long time. They're very interesting, very different players. And they probably fit real well together. We're going to have to see how it goes over time for sure. I love it. Trevor J's here. Good morning, Raptors family. Good morning to you, Trevor J. Always good to see you here. We are going to be so good this year. It's going to be very hard for the rest of the NBA to beat us. Let's go, Raptors. I hope that's true. I really do hope that's true. And I can see where it could be possible. Seriously. I am always optimistic and looking at the bright side of things and hoping for the best. And I am doing that especially this year. There is a lot of, when you finish 50-50, 41-41, there's 2 ways you can kind of go. And a lot of people are predicting we're going to go down. They want that to happen to the Raptors. Even some of the fans in our fan nation wants us to fail because they're wrong with what they're saying, and they think the front office is wrong. So it's going to be a weird season where they're going to be haters, obviously, around the NBA that think the Raptors are not supposed to be doing as well as they do. And then even in our own fan nation, there'll be some idiots that'll be doing the same thing. Well, get ready to succeed, motherfuckers, and quit being Debbie Downers. I'm ready to fucking rock this league again. And it sounds like Trevor J is too. Yeah, let's go get it, Raptors. That's right. Evelyn is here. Good to see Granny Evelyn on a Saturday morning. Good morning, Raptor Freak family. Excited much to meet Gradey Dick in person. Let's go, Raptors. Evelyn, are you going to meet Gradey sometime? She wants to go meet up with Gradey. Who knows? I mean, it'd be crazy if somebody from the Raptors knew about the Raptor Freak get together and they showed up all of a sudden. That would be really weird. If just out of the blue, some person that connected with the Raptors just happened to be there just because they said wanted to say hi to us. That'd be crazy, especially if it was Grady. That'd be really interesting. Tom Duke saying, good morning from Victoria. He's doing that, whatchamacallit, that guy, the character, Kronhauer from Good Morning Vietnam, played by Robin Williams, Adrian Kronhauer. That's what it is. Good morning from Victoria. Good morning to you, Tom. Let's see. Matt's signature call was born by chance. Kyle hit a long shot, and he said from Mississauga. It's typically from downtown, Devlin explained. If it's really deep, maybe it's from a different town. Yeah, it could come from Aurora. It could come from Newmarket. It could come from London. It could come from Souris, Manitoba. Yeah, they can just drop any old names in there when Matt Devlin's with the call. He'll call something from the Inuit out there, he'll call something from like the East Coast all the way in the Maritimes. I love that aspect about his call, and it has become kind of his signature, just like the onions and the salami and cheese for Chuck. Well, it's calling out random Canadian cities and towns all around the nation. And in some ways, what Matt does when he does that is he builds our nation. Because holy crap, some little town in Saskatchewan gets their name called out by Matt Devlin on the Raptors broadcast. He's like, he recognized us. He said our name on our town on the Raptors broadcast nationally. Well, maybe you get a couple more Raptors fans in Saskatoon all of a sudden just because you say Saskatoon in the call. It's a brilliant, brilliant thing that Matt Devlin is doing, because it shows the expansive, huge country that Canada is and all the great town names and city names that he can put out there in relation to this great, big, huge, great country of ours. I love it, Tom Duke. I love it so much. Monique is here. Superfan Monique Lawrence is in the house, y'all. Let's give our respect to the superfan Monique Lawrence. What has she got to say? She's been very, very busy in the last couple of days. I know she has, dropping knowledge on all of us left and right. Good morning, everyone. Matt will pull through. We love you. Matt's laugh is hilarious, but his son Jack's story is touching. Yeah, his son Jack's amazing. He made that half-court shot, and then he became an urban legend forever. That's right. You keep going, Jack Devlin. And all the other two Devlin boys, too, that are in the NHL. They got drafted in the NHL. Matt Devlin has such a great story. Family life is rich with love and passion and such good caring and great things in his life with his sons. And I just love to see that. He is a great father. And he really, the fatherly love that Matt Devlin has for his three boys is just awe-inspiring and is a great example for people on how to be a parent. And yes, I love the Devlins all around, all of them, the mother, the sons, and the father. They're just a great family all around. That's right. Good morning to you, Monique. Always good to see you. Nameless is saying, I'm going to guarantee that Barnes, Grady, Koloko, Achua, and Banton remain in Toronto indefinitely. It sounds like Nameless just wants to go ahead and tell Bobby, who he better just lock in forever. Listen, we may do the impossible. Some of the talk right now is around the CBA. The CBA is changing this in a couple of days, in a week from now. The CBA will change on July the 1st. And a lot of the rules are going to change heavily. And it's going to handicap people from being able to – it's going to make it hard for them to be able to make a big team with a big roster with a lot of salary. That's one of the things they're doing. The CBA will enforce the parity even further and make the league even more even. There will be a lot less of the haves and have-nots of the Golden State Warriors in the mid-2010s when they just stacked their team with a whole bunch of people. In fact, this is part of the reason why some of these teams are scrambling to make moves like Porzingis, Chris Paul, Bradley Beal, because they want to get this stuff done while it's still legal to do it. They may not be able to do some of this stuff and structure the team in a certain way. So they're trying to get it a certain way going into the new rule changes. Well, this is going to be very interesting. And in fact, why the rule changes really do favor the Raptors in a lot of ways, because some of the other teams are already kind of illegal and they're going to have to adjust over time and to their detriment. Well, meanwhile, we are set up in a certain way with bird rights, luxury tax we can go into to go forward with our core with it. Everybody thinks we got to get rid of people. We really don't. We can make this fit. And it's by design. Masai and Bobby aren't going to get guys and draft them and develop them and bring them up just to get rid of them, like a lot of our fan nation wants us to do, which is absolutely stupid, by the way. We are doing the right thing by keeping the core together because cores develop better over time. That's how it always was throughout the history of the NBA. And more recent NBA fans need to fucking realize this, that you have to keep 5 or 6 guys together for like 5 or 6 years, and then you can really start mining the gold, the good stuff, just like the Denver Nuggets did just now. So stop wanting to change the team around so much, Raptors Nation. We have a good team. The players like playing with each other. The front office is happy with the team that they've constructed. Y'all may not like it. You may think it's too mid, but we're going into an era of parity where our team, with the development strides we can make with the youngsters that we have on our team, will make leaps and jumps in a league where everybody else is going to get hamstrung for how much they can do big moves by just getting players. That's changing. The CBA is going to change the whole landscape and the way front offices can maneuver in the NBA. And the Raptors are set up for this in a very actual, like, admirable position that other teams wish they could have. So don't get it twisted. We keep Fred. That's the right move. We're keeping Gary already. We keep Jakob, and we go with who we got with the little additions of like Gradey Dick. We're going to get a mid-level exception player somewhere in there who will be very helpful and add to helping some of the weaknesses we had last season. And this team's going to be very good this year. And I think they're going to take a lot of Raptors Nation by surprise, because y'all are just negative, ninny, pessimist, Debbie Downer motherfuckers. And y'all need to start opening your eyes to just how good Scotty is, just how good we can get, and how much we are going to start winning again very soon. So you'll see, y'all. You'll see, and you'll remember that the Raptor Freak told you that before July the 1st, in the middle of this summer. Yeah, so there you go. Just one of the little points about the changes coming up with July the 1st that a lot of people aren't realizing right now. Now, Monique is saying Toronto is home for Gradey Dick and Markquis and Desmond too. Now, Monique is naming, she's talking about Markquis, Nowell, and Gradey Dick, but she's bringing up a guy named Desmond who's been added to our summer league team. I do not know anything about the summer league guys right now. I am on family vacation right now, Monique. So I'm not able to do the digging like you're able to do right now. I cannot go look at all this stuff. I'm not going to start with summer league until next week. We did get the summer league schedule yesterday, and I will go over it today, but I am not looking at the players we required for summer league until I get back to Toronto, which I'll be going back later today. And then I'll probably start talking about this maybe either tomorrow or Monday or in the week. But I have no idea anything about Desmond. I can't look at him yet because I'm trying to get as much time with my folks before they head back to Georgia this weekend. So yeah, I'll get on summer league very soon this week. I mean, I'll let y'all know what I think about some of the signings. There's been at least 3 guys signed to our summer league team in the last couple of days. I know the names. Monique's put them up on our chat, but I'll learn more about them and give you my report on them in the coming days. I'll do a proper summer league preview for sure. Monique's saying summer league is quickly approaching, July the 7th. That's right. I need to get on it. That's in 2 weeks. So we'll be doing a lot on the summer league in the coming weeks for sure. The schedule is up, as Monique has said. Our first summer league game will be Friday, July the 7th at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Or no, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. It'll be against the Chicago Bulls at the Cox Pavilion in Las Vegas. And then we'll play again on July the 9th, Sunday the 9th, against the Cleveland Cavaliers at Cox Pavilion at 3:30 p.m. in the afternoon. And then Wednesday, the 12th, Detroit at the Thomas and Mack Center, 6 p.m. Eastern time. And then Thursday, July the 3rd, Brooklyn Nets, Thomas and Mack Center, 5 p.m. for that game. So they're all different games, and they'll all start around the 7th of July. And then, the day we have our get-together, there may be a game. If there is, we can watch it together at Real Sports. But it's not likely that the Raptors will play on the 15th. It's more likely, hopefully, that they'll play on the 16th, because that's the day when the winners play. The losers only play on the 15th. So we don't want the Raptors playing on the day of our Raptors meet and greet, Raptor Freak meet and greet on the 15th, because that means they will have lost in their group and that they're not playing for something on the Sunday. Now, some of our great fans are already predicting that Markquis Nowell is going to be the Summer League MVP, that he's got that dog in him, that competitiveness, that Kansas State work that he did in the tournament this year is going to carry over into the Summer League, that he's going to be that dog in the fight, and he's going to show some stuff to people in the Summer League. I love that prediction, and I would love to see it. Seriously. I'd love to see Markquis Nowell go to Las Vegas and walk out as the Summer League MVP this year. You do that, Markquis. We believe in you. Raptor Free believes in you, man. I seen this support. I saw the video of you getting to know that you got that two-way with Toronto the other night. And it was Coach Darko telling him on the phone, and he's all quiet and he's listening to him. And then he's like, okay. And then everybody around him is partying and erupting and so proud of him. The city, the people around Markquis Nowell are going off. And there's so many people that love this guy. And this dude is like a winner. This guy is just like Fred from before. He's a little guy with a chip on his shoulder, and he has a lot to prove. And I love dudes like that on my team because I know they get up real, real high for games and doing what they're going to do. So Markquis Nowell and your group of people that love you and around you, thank you and welcome to the Raptors Nation. We love you, and we're ready to see you make that climb just like Mr. Van Vliet did. You come right up through this organization just like Van Vliet did, because I know you can. You look like you're cut from the same cloth as Mr. Fred Van Vliet from Rockford, Illinois. I'm ready to see Markquis Nowell ascend into the NBA just like Freddie did. So you go. You got the right path. You got the right franchise, and you got the one that will get you there. You just got to do the work and put that heart in, and you will get it, Markquis. I promise you will. That's right. I'm ready to see this. I want to see Nowell. He's got me hyped. His people got me hyped and wanted to jump up in the street just like they were in that video, because I'm hyped for him too. I can see that dog in his fight. I'm ready. Maybe Fred's even like, whoa, this is the force is strong in this one. This force is strong is what he's saying when he sees Markquis Nowell coming into the Raptors organization. Yeah, the force is strong in this one is what he's saying. Nameless is saying we just got Jose Avocado 2.0. The first thing I think of when I watch this kid is explosive. You're talking about Markquis. You think he's like Alvarado, Grand Theft Alvarado? I don't know. He's more like Fred to me. We needed a more updated version of Fred in the ranks. Well, he's definitely kind of a Fred guy for sure. It's going to be interesting. I mean, Fred would love to mentor this guy. Seriously, he would love to mentor this guy. Like, seriously, this is the kind of guy that he really would love to put energy and like his mentorship into, because he's going to get a lot of like feeling good from seeing him excel and get to new levels just like he did. And in some ways, Fred wants that. He wants to show that he can be a teacher also. Well, Nowell may be his best pupil ever. Watch. Let's see. Nameless saying, there's no way Fred can guard Nowell. I'd be shocked. Nowell is the Tyrese Maxey stopper. Buenavente, welcome. He's saying, welcome to Markquis Nowell. Now go guard Tyrese Maxey, please. That's funny. Well, we'll have to see. There's going to be some good battles. Fred sticks around. We're going to see some pretty cool practice battles between Nowell and Fred, I'm sure. There's going to be a lot of like teaching that I'm telling you. Fred's going to teach some of that Lowry stuff to Markquis, and that could be very, very fruitful. Markquis, I'm telling you, you're going in the right lineage. If you want the school of Lowry to be taught to you, you got Fred Van Vliet as your new teacher, if he doesn't take off. I don't know what's going to happen, but I think that Nowell coming actually is something that will make Fred want to stay. Now, on the other hand, Gradey may be the opposite. Fred may be like, this goofy guy, I got to deal with another one of these kind of guys, because he's already kind of dealt with Scotty being a little kind of, immature. He may be feeling like, okay, Gradey seems like he's just as crazy with his TikTok and stuff like that. But who knows? Maybe he'll really like him because of their Kansas connection. Fred has a very strong connection to Wichita also, and that's where Gradey grew up. So in some ways, maybe there is a bond that's easy with Fred and Gradey, and it won't be kind of like a clash of like mentalities, because, they have young hearts and kind of they like to do young stuff, because, Scotty's 21 and Grady's 19. So Fred, approaching 30, he was already approaching 30, almost approaching 40 mentality-wise in his teenage years. So it's like Fred's just always been way more mature than his age. And in some ways, that is a culture class on our team, but it's nothing like what Pensare and his idiots talk about Fred versus Scotty. Fred accepts Scotty for being younger and being a little immature because he understands that's just natural. And he's very, very accepting of it. In fact, when you talk to Fred about Scotty, he'll say, this guy's going to be so good. I'm proud of him. I want him on my team. He'll say that every single time. He knows how good he's going to be because he can see it in practice. And he likes him. He honestly really does like him. It's just that in some ways it's hard for them to connect because Fred takes things so seriously, and in some ways Scotty and Gradey do not. And I don't know. In some ways they maybe can lighten up Fred a little bit, and maybe Fred can be a little bit more like, you guys get more professional. Also, they can help each other in a lot of different ways. So I hope the Kansas connection helps with Fred and Gradey. Seriously, that'll be the way they bond. Seriously, the time in Wichita. Let's see. Dana's here. Good to see Canadian Dana in the house. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to you, Dana. Happy Saturday. Share the love club from Matt Devlin. We love you, Matt. We love you, Matt Devlin. Ron Burgundy. Yes. Cool Cat saying, good morning, Raptor Free Crew. I love Matt Devlin. I know. I love him so much, too. He's just lovable. He's so goofy. Like, even the picture I posted for this chat, like, he's like, wow, like, blah. I was like, that's so goofy. It's like he went totally from what I thought he was when he came in to totally what I wanted him to be. Just somebody real, somebody fun, somebody who's not afraid to make a fool of himself to a degree. And that is important. Announcing can go wrong very quickly. And we've seen our announcers get in very weird situations at times over the years. There was a time where a speaker caught on fire in an Indiana Pacers game. And Matt and Jack had to kind of be like CNN for a little while because there was a lot of airtime with no action on the floor. And they had to kind of bullshit for a little while in there. And you saw the professionalism of them during the speaker fire game when they're talking, like just trying to keep us informed and kind of keep us entertained, even though there's no game going on. I'm telling you, I learned a lot about those guys from that game because they did a very difficult thing. That is not easy to do, to keep things going with nothing going on. Trust me, on this channel, sometimes I do that. But on a broadcast with millions watching you and there's a speaker fire and both the teams are in the locker room and you kind of have to sit out there and just bullshit for a while, kudos to y'all at giving it going good. I would be surprised to see if the channel got changed a lot. I'm sure a lot of people changed the channel when the speaker fire happened and there was a delay. Obviously, they're going to do that. But I'll bet a lot of people stayed on just for the witty banter in between there. And it showed the professionalism and the creativity and the amazingness of Devlin and Armstrong to take care of such a dead air kind of period of time on the broadcast. I mean, seriously, they felt like CNN anchors for a little while there. It was hilarious and so good at their job to be able to do that. So good. Shirkan saying, good morning, Raptor Freak family. Wasn't sure of Matt right after Chuck, but he won us over. Now we have a new favorite play-by-play. Fred VanVleet news cycle is out of control. Now they bring up Chicago rumors from months ago. Shaking my head. Yeah, all right. The rumor I saw last night is really stupid. In fact, I want to go off on this real quick. The Bulls fans want us to trade Fred VanVleet to Chicago for Patrick Williams, a draft pick, and Lonzo Ball. They literally want us to take Lonzo Ball's contract and not going to play next season already. They announced Lonzo Ball will not be playing next season already. He did not play last season. And they just want to unload Lonzo Ball and his big old contract with not playing on us just to give Fred VanVleet. Now, why the fuck will we do that, Chicago? Seriously, you think we're fucking stupid? What the fuck? You think we're that fucking stupid, Chicago? Like, seriously, real talk. Real talk, Chicago fans. Who the hell do you think you are? You give us damaged goods like Lonzo Ball for our great Raptor legend, Fred VanVleet, like that. Even Fred haters wouldn't take that deal. They know it's a bad deal. Seriously, people so desperate to get Fred out of Toronto would not take that deal because they know it's a bad deal with Lonzo Ball. So I don't care how good Patrick Williams is going to be. He is going to be good. He's an FSU guy, and I do like him. But this is a silly trade, and I would not do this. We don't need the saddling of us with Lonzo Ball's stupid-ass contract because y'all picked a guy who had shitty shoes and fucked up his feet, and now y'all got to deal with it? No, that's y'all's problem. That's y'all's bed to lie in. So you go ahead and lie in at Chicago. You think we're stupid going to take that fucking deal? You want us to bail you out with Lonzo Ball? As I swat this fly away, I swat your stupid-ass rumor away. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, it's ridiculous what they're offering us right now. Mike is here. Salute the real ones, Project Truth always. I was told yesterday Toronto needs to stop keeping players hostage. ESPN is spinning a lot of yarn. Listen, I love this. Let's be fucking terrorists. They thought we were a Nick Nurse terrorist group with our defense and the way we build walls against Giannis. They've called us terrorists and stuff like that. They think Masai is stingy. Go ahead. You want to put that on us? Go ahead. Make us the bad guys. We already wear black all the time. ESPN, you think we're stingy and we don't want to trade players? Well, we love our players, and y'all just need to get ready to cover us better if you want to see our players more. That's what I'm saying. Seriously, they go ahead and spin their yarns, Mike. That's right. They don't matter to me, and they shouldn't matter to most Raptor freaks, because honestly, it's not that their entertainment value is for us. And they're not really news anymore. They're a spin machine, they're a propaganda machine, and it's all built for the American public, not for the Canadian public. So they can fuck right off. They can think whatever they want about us. Once again, I have a utter confidence that the Raptors just need to be ourselves, be very unabashedly ourselves, and not give a fuck about what anybody else thinks. Masai's a G. He's going to run things the way he wants to. Bobby doesn't want to pick up that phone and take any offers or deal with anybody. That's all right. So y'all can just all fuck off about your opinions about us, ESPN. We don't give a shit. We're going to be who we are, deal with it. Deal with it, just like Taylor said on Kid Nation. Deal with it. That's right. You got to deal with it at ESPN. We are who we are. Get used to it. And this is how it is. You can go ahead and call us terrorists, call us stingy. I don't care. We're running it right, and we know we're going to get somewhere. And we're not doing this to please y'all. So if y'all aren't pleased with us, we must be doing something right. How about that? Yeah, you go, Mike. Check out Logical Raptors Fanatic. He will be putting something out at 2 o'clock today. So check out his channel and be ready for his live drop today at 2 p.m. Follow Logical Raptors Fanatic. That's right. Monique is saying broadcasting isn't the same without you in times when you are off, sometimes this past season. This is true. Monique is saying the absence has made us grow fonder of Matt Devlin at times in the past couple of years. During the COVID years, Matt has had bouts with getting COVID and being away for a little bit. He was away for a little bit this season, and we saw Paul Jones jump into the seat. Now, Paul Jones is great. He's been around covering the Raptors since the very beginning, and we have a lot of love and respect for Paul Jones also. But Matt Devlin is Matt Devlin. And it really is, like Shir Khan and I said, we had such a reverence for Chuck Swirsky that anybody who could come in and take that crown from Chuck, like Matt Div, is very special. And it's very, very hard to do. And we're not going to give that crown to anybody after Matt Devlin very easily either. And that's just how it is. You just get used to your dude and your guy and what the feel of Raptors basketball is with that voice. And when it changes, it doesn't sound right. And there's a transition period where you got to get used to it. And that very much was the early years of Matt Devlin calling our team. And also at that time, we weren't in a very good place. We were in those weird Bosch years where we're kind of in the playoffs, out of the playoffs, in the playoffs, out of the playoffs. And it wasn't like the best era of Raptors basketball. So in some ways, he had time to get better and get really into it over time. And then when Lowry and DeRozan, he was hitting his stride finally. And really starting to really make Raptors fans really enjoy him. Like, he's been really good for over 10 years now. But it really was, the little bit in the beginning inning was kind of like, he's the new guy. He's okay, he's good, but he's not Chuck. But now it's like Chuck's been gone so long. Matt's been our guy for so long. Matt Devlin is the bona fide, for real voice of the Raptors for sure. And when he's not there, it is very stark in a weird contrast. Now, when they do the ladies broadcast, that's been fantastic. Paul Jones and Leo Routon show up to do a game here or there. There's no problem with that. I do like the little bit of difference sometimes, but most of the time, I want Matt Devlin in there calling the game for us. And I'm glad that he does both Rogers and Bell, that he's on TSN and Rogers. That's really important because that continuity, if we had two different broadcast booths completely, like if it was Matt Devlin and Jack Armstrong, and then it was like Paul Jones and Alvin Williams doing the other games, I wouldn't like that. I like that we have a signature voice that does all the games. So you go, Matt Devlin. Superfan Monique is in your corner selling healing vibes to your foot, man. Yeah, MSJ saying, I hope Matt is okay. Good chemistry with Jack. Yeah, I hope he is too. I know that it was a surprise. It was something he didn't want to happen. It was an accident. And, obviously it changed his whole plans this summer. So we just want you to have a great summer no matter what, Matt. I know you're just like that, you'll make the best of what's around still, no matter what. You're going to do whatever's fun, and you're going to have a fun time either way. I know the Devlin clan's probably been coming through there and brightening your day. Your boys and your wife and everybody that loves you comes by and says hi. Maybe Jack came by and said, hey, all kinds of stuff like that. Is exactly how we'll get you through the summer. And hopefully you will find this Share the Love Club and find entertainment from us. We're here every single morning, 9:30 a.m., talking Raptors-related stuff. And today is the Share the Love Club on Saturday, as designated by our young Scott Wayne Barnes and Gary Trent Jr. told us, share more love and stop the hate. And we're going the opposite direction of Raptors Twitter on Raptors YouTube. And we're sharing the love. We're positive fans here, and we love you, Matt Devlin. You get healed up real nice and come back and call the game right. That's right. Yeah, I love it. And yeah, his chemistry with Jack is off the chain. Now, Jack, in some ways, we're going to do a Share the Love Club for Jack at some point. It's amazing we haven't done these guys yet because they do deserve a lot of love from the Raptors Nation. So Jack Armstrong will get his Share the Love Club before the end of this year, the end of this summer, for sure. So we'll get Jack Armstrong in soon, y'all. Watch. Fiercey's here. Good morning, family. So good to see you. Fiercey, Salsera, Scotty Barnes, Twitch family 2022. Always is a memory, and we'll always have Scotty Barnes on Twitch last summer, Fiercey. Yes, we will. G saying, get well, Matt. He has a contagious energy. I love his non-ordinary commentary. Gradey in the 6. Yeah, we'll have to see if he says Dick in the 6. I don't know if he will. Matt Devlin, how are you going to handle this Gradey Dick situation? This is going to be very interesting. Are you going to be saying Gradey a lot, just like I am on this stream? I'm trying to avoid his last name as much as possible for all the phrasing pitfalls you can fall into with somebody having that last name. Well, you guys are going to be listened to by millions of people, and you may have to call that caller sometimes. I don't know. Can you handle Jack just yelling out Dick all of a sudden? Dick! Ah! And like Matt's like, Jack, what are you saying? I don't know. It could be very interesting to see how they handle our new rookie coming in this year. With his name. It'll be pretty comical, I'll bet. I don't know. They're going to have to do something that's kind of funny at some point, whether it's accidental or maybe they do something in the beginning where they're like, all right, Jack, be careful with this name here. All right, Matty D, I'll try and do my best. No, seriously, Jack. His name is kind of controversial. It could be something like that. It'd be kind of funny while they talk about Gradey's name. It'd be very, very funny. Jimmy Pope's here, the Pope of Positivity in the house on the Saturday Share the Love Club. Of course, we need the positivity coming from the Pope of Positivity, Jimmy Pope. Gradey Dick, I love him already. He's going to bring that fun energy we need. Go Dick. Yeah, see, exactly like that. What are you going to do, Jack? Are you going to say go Dick? I love that Jimmy really loves the new draft guy. I think he's exactly right. This dude's a breath of fresh air. He's fun. In some ways, he's going to confuse and maybe preoccupy the youngsters because he's so cool and he's so hip. They may be kind of confused about him. Like the snarky, trolly, negative ones will be like, you know what? I want to hate him, but he's kind of fun. And because he's young, he really knows what's cool to the youngsters that are kind of snarky and jaded and trollish. So he may actually be really good for public relations for the Raptors. Raptors Twitter is a dumpster fire on fire that looks like a fucking hellscape. And I'm just not going there anymore. Kareem Thomas and I have deemed it not safe to go into, kind of like Florida for black people right now. So we're just not going into Raptors Twitter anymore. And, that's the thing. Maybe Gradey Dick is going to be part of the fight to help make it a little bit better as far as like, all right, just go make dick jokes, please, Raptors Twitter. Just get preoccupied with something else other than hating Fred and going after Pascal, going after front office. Just go have fun with some dick jokes or something for a little while, and then everything will be fine. So I'm hoping that will be one of the positive benefits of having Gradey on our team is maybe you'll get some of the idiots online to chill out. Maybe some of the ones that have been hating on our team will be like, I love Gradey, and they'll be more passionate about loving him than hating the whole rest of the team. So I'm hoping for this. I mean, seriously, Scotty lovers, stop hating Fred. Stop hating everybody else. Just love the team and know that Scotty loves the team. Scotty loves Fred. Fred loves Scotty. And we'll stop this fucking bullshit between an old and a young divide and all this kind of shit. They can all get along. And I've kind of been describing it earlier about how we can do that. G Sam, Mr. New York is so grateful. Even filmed Gradey in his billboard and said nice words. I really like both their personalities. Now, speculating that was Nowell filming Gradey there in that scene at Jurassic Park. Somebody was saying that was Markquis Nowell that was there also with Gradey Dick last night outside the Scotiabank Arena. So, yeah. I mean, they have different personalities, obviously. In some ways, the seriousness of Markquis Nowell will be a good yin to the yang of Gradey Dick's kind of goofiness. So it's like we need a little bit of what both of them have on our team right now. We need the levity, brevity of just goofy Gradey having fun in the locker room with the guys. You know, they may have a tough road trip during the season this year, and everybody's a little low spirits, and Gradey does something really goofy, and everybody just can't help but laugh. And that will really help our swag and our ability to get our heads from being down like this, because Nick is just like being fucking terrorists. And all of a sudden, you got Gradey and Darko there instead. Gradey being a clown and Darko being a very benevolent, kind father figure coach that's like, I care about you guys. What is wrong? Come talk to me, please. Tell me what your problems are. This is going to be a very different kind of atmosphere and energy around the Raptors than last season. Last season was, like I said, somebody's dog died is how it felt around the team. There ain't going to be none of that. The vibes will be strong, seriously strong. Grady will make sure of that, and Darko will enforce for sure that it happens. But on the other side, you do need to be serious. This is the NBA. You're professionals, and you aren't just coming to be goofy and make money and kind of be in the public spotlight. No, you're coming to win. You're coming to prove things. And that was the epitome of what Markquis Nowell is all about right now. He has things to prove. And I like that kind of dichotomy between the goofiness and kind of lightness of Gradey and the very serious, I have a chip on my shoulder, I'm going to come and prove everybody wrong, that I am a badass, heart over height, coming in with Nowell. So I like the forces of the three newest important Raptor people around our team, which are Darko, Gradey, and Markquis. That these guys have totally different kind of forces they're coming in that will help with some of the issues from last year with the Raptors franchise. So I'm all about it so much. You're calling him Mr. New York, G? All right, I've heard that. I've heard that he's been called Mr. New York before. Well, I don't know if I want him to be Mr. New York. We may need to change him to Mr. Toronto. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. MSJ saying Matt is on mushrooms. Laugh out loud. Jack might have a halftime beer. Looking forward to a summer league. I want to see Markquis as well. He looks like a weapon that handles small, quick guards. I like Maxey. Yeah, MSJ. I do feel like sometimes he's so loopy. I don't know if it's mushrooms or it's like a cannabis brownie. Seriously, some sort of edible sometimes. I feel like Matt Devlin. Not to say that he does that stuff, but he's just so loose and goofy that I feel like he could have been on like an edible. Because sometimes he giggles like somebody who would be on an edible. And that's why I think that. Whatever. He doesn't probably care about that. He's probably heard that before in recent years because of his looser announcing lately. They're like, are you on an edible, Matt Devlin? Because you are just having so much fun. I mean, I'm not hating, and I don't think it's wrong, and I'm not going to try and sully him. It's not like it's illegal at this point. If he wants to be on a cannabis edible, well, he can walk down the street and buy one for free, and not for free, for legally. So it's not even a big deal if he is. I mean, maybe his higher ups are saying, Matt, were you on an edible tonight on the TSN broadcast? Yes, I was. Well, keep doing it. Something like that. It could have been like that. Who knows? G saying Gradey, Darko, and Nowell are all excited and grateful to be here. That will completely change the energy and vibes in the locker room. Yeah, totally. Reinforcements, vibes, reinforcements. And seriously, G's exactly right. All these guys are grateful to be coming to Toronto. Darko Rajaković really understands the privilege he's been given by Masai and Bobby to be the head coach of the Toronto Raptors, and he's not taking this lightly. Seriously, this dude's a professional through and through. Like I said, he's going to check all the boxes. He's going to be even more on top than people realize. The other thing that I really like about Gradey and Darko is they're very community oriented. Like Gradey in particular in Kansas has done so much work in the community of Kansas, like with the public. You know, his mother's a cancer survivor, and he has all kinds of very interesting stories where he's done things to help people in the public in Wichita. And he's very much planning to do that in the community in Toronto also. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Gradey Dick is a philanthropist and giving to the community in certain ways. I'm sure he'll have some sort of program just like Pascal does, like with the PS43 Foundation or something. Who knows what his exact passion will be to be philanthropic towards. But Grady's already indicated and said in interviews he will be a part of community stuff to help out. And it shows in his track record in Wichita already. So I'm excited about that. Tom Duke is saying Darko calling Markquis to welcome him to the Raptors was a special moment. Let's go Raptors. I know Tom loved that hype around that group with him. Seriously, these people are very passionate about Markquis Nowell, and they know that he's got a dog in him that's hungry to get that next ribeye at the next level. And now, you get in that meat, Markquis, and you don't let go of it, and you keep going with what you're doing. You're going to make a Raptor freak so proud. At the Summer League, I can already tell. Oh, my gosh, I can tell Markquis Nowell is going to go in there and be a big W. That's what I'm saying. G saying Jeff Jefferson said Grady's fit was the best he has ever seen in the draft, and Zach came out wearing a red sequence something. He looked like already like an anti, to be honest. Grady is popular already. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the experts, the ESPN people, Sports Illustrated, they're all giving us very high grades for that draft pick for Bobby Masai. Well, I love being wrong. I want to be as wrong as I can be on Grady. And, all the experts are saying this is a fantastic hire, great drafting. So I'm excited about it. I heard an interview this morning with Grady's old high school coach talking about Grady's transitioning into the NBA. The biggest problem for him maybe is defense, and we talked about this yesterday, that because of his body and his athleticism, the defense thing is going to be something he's going to have to work on. But his high school coach is saying that he believes in him, that there's one thing about Grady, he will work hard and listen to his coach. So if Coach Darko tells Grady how to guard within his ability, and he can be effective in our system in the ways that he needs to, then he can be a very, very comparable, good defender for us within his abilities. It really is going to be, Darko's going to have to figure out the system to make it benefit for him so that he's not getting destroyed or burned in all kinds of different ways. Now, Grady has to do the work athletically, physically, to build himself up a little bit, listen to coach real well. But his high school coach, and he's talking for Bill Self also, was saying that he has faith in Grady to take the direction and to be an adequate defender in the NBA. So that was an interview with his high school coach I listened to this morning saying that. Is Jeff Jefferson that guy? Is that his high school coach or something? I don't know. It is a really good fit in a lot of ways. And I love that people are recognizing that. It's like ESPN's not being a hater right now. They're like actually saying that the Raptors did a really good job on draft day. I love that. Denal saying, what's up, Lex? Just realized why I missed so many streams at times. Your thumbnails throw me off. Can we get a Raptor Freak logo or something on each thumb so at a quick glance we can tell? Let's go, new Raps. That's not a horrible idea. Once again, I'm doing most of the work. Tom Duke is helping me to an extent, but I'm really kind of like, putting in the time when I'm doing the stream and doing the research. That's not a bad idea. Logical Raptors Fanatic has his logo on everything, and that works real well. I don't know why somebody's calling me. I should have my ringer down. No. All right. I'm not trying to talk to nobody right now. Anyway, sorry about that. So maybe this is a good idea, Denal. I don't know. You should just know 9:30 every morning. It's just standardly that. That's the thing. I'm not going to change the time unless I have to because of a doctor's appointment or some sort of family function. But every morning, 9:30, you can count on me, Denal. So just know that that's the time, and it'll be every day. Not a day off. Seriously, I'll be going on every day. So that's the best way to kind of keep up with me. If you just know 9:30 is the time. Monique saying Chris continues to celebrate the Canadians in the NBA on CBC Sports Instagram. Very cool. All right, let's go do our Instagram check since Monique has brought it up. Of course, Precious is at Paris Fashion Week still, and he's talking about how the jackets go crazy. This person has a really crazy like orange pink jacket with lots of layers. It has the second apron on it. This is the second CBA second apron on that jacket. Let's see. And then Precious made a really cool picture post of him wearing green pants and talking about how are you at Fashion Week when your fashion is weak? And then Mobamba wrote him saying, laughing my ass off, chill, P. Saying that to Precious. And then Precious said back to Mobamba, nah, don't tell me to chill, bro. Whoa. I'm going to have to take this to the court. And Precious, you may need to dunk on Mobamba next year for telling you to chill with your fashion speak. Nah, let this man talk about his fashion on Fashion Week. If your fashion is weak, well, he's talking about you. That's what he's talking about. That's right. And don't get all upset, Mo Bamba, because when you cry like that, it makes it sound like your fashion is weak, and he's the one you're talking about. Or you're the one he's talking about. Haha. David Johnson. Let's take a little check in with David Johnson. I don't talk about him enough on this channel. In some ways, David Johnson is a valued Raptor on the 905 level. He's just back somewhere and sitting in a really nice chair. And somebody's saying it. He's saying it's always a pleasure to Dom Bashi. Good to see David Johnson, number 13, still around the Raptors. He's probably going to be on our summer league team still, guys. Watch. I wish the best for David Johnson. He's a good young man. Thad Young just being a good dad as usual. His kids are playing. I see that we see clips of his other son, not Thad Jr., in competition in this one, number 33. Let's see how he does. He makes some shots. He's a big body. He's got some good size down low. And there's a blocked shot by him. That's right. Okay, and now there's Thad Young Jr. Highlights after that. He's taking up shots, number 21, making some transition baskets, catching the pass. Good stuff from the young boys, as usual. Always good to see that stuff. And let's see, there's more Raptors. Koloko putting on blast Precious at Fashion Week with the green pants, saying his caption is crazy. Yeah, maybe a little bit crazy. But, I think Precious deserves this. And I like the green because it's very Nigeria. So, what's wrong with wearing green pants, y'all? And then Koloko's got a really cool post on his Instagram stories of him when he's younger, 7 years ago, when he was, he's 23 this week. So that means when he's 16. This is a clip of Koloko in Africa on a court, running around doing drills, running around cones and dunking and laying up the ball. And he looks so tall, but that's so cool to see young Koloko from 16-year-old Koloko from 7 years ago on the court where he was at this time. Very cool. Casey Bannerman is trying to say that he got drafted because he looks like Gradey Dick. And I think that's kind of funny. There's a lot of blonde white guys that are saying, I got drafted by the Raptors today because they feel like we look like Gradey Dick. So I think that's a little silly, but hey, whatever. I guess I could be in that club. So yeah, there's your Instagram check. Not a whole lot on there. Just some stuff from Precious and Fashion Week and old school Koloko on there. Pretty cool stuff. Yeah, I like that. G saying people are already calling it a Dick Sanity. That is crazy, and I'm not going to get involved with that. Seriously, Dick Sanity? Really? That is, come on. Dick Sanity? What the hell is that? That is messed up. All right. All right, let me get back to the spot. It jumped, of course. It always does that at some point. It will jump. Dick Sanity. That's hilarious. All right, Cool Cat saying it was good to see Grady's mom and dad with him at Scotiabank Arena. His personality will be infectious with fans. Markquis Nowell, another great personality. Darko and our two rooks, personalities infectious. Just infusion of great new energy and great new people in our team. We needed that. We really did. In some ways, seriously, Nick leaving is addition by subtraction. A lot of people may question firing Nick Nurse, but they're not going to realize how much he was hurting our team with just the black cloud that hung over our team around Nick Nurse was awful last season, and a huge part of the reason why we underachieved and looked so painful last year is people are going to realize that a lot of the bad stuff is gone with Nick because there was something weird with him. I don't totally understand what's going on with Nick in his life and why he turned dark-sided this year. He was very polite, positive, kind of happy, smiley guy, but he turned really dark this year in his personality. I don't totally get it. I hope it's not some sort of life change that happened to him in his life that changed his personality because he had to deal with something. And I wish him well in his life, but I damn for sure don't wish him well on the court. And I hope that he goes down in a stinking pile of flames in Philadelphia as far as his new job. So, yeah, I feel bad for him personally, and I want best for him as far as things, but I hate the Sixers, and fuck you, Nick, for going there. Seriously. Let's see. Nameless is saying, gee, that's the funniest one you've heard yet. You like the Dick Sanity, Nameless? Really? Dick Sanity. Oh, my gosh. And he's dead. I'm not giving dunks for dick jokes. Seriously. Yesterday was the only day you get dunks for dick jokes. So don't even try and do dick jokes on this channel to get slam dunks in my book. I'm not going to give them, just so y'all know. Van Hoot's here. Good to see Basketball Rewind in the house. Y'all check out Basketball Rewind, another great Raptors-related basketball YouTube channel on YouTube. Check out Basketball Rewind, hosted by Kenyon and the coach And those are great guys on that show. I love them. They're very, very knowledgeable, and they have great opinions. I really enjoyed your pre-draft coverage and coming up with all the different names and stuff. And you keep going, Van Hoot. Keep doing what you're doing. He's saying Gradey, regardless of our final lineup, allows Pascal and Barnes to have another shooter. We have some serious lineup versatility. I love that. I love that prediction by Van Hoot, saying that we've got all kinds of different people we can put into the lineup and different weapons. I want to see how Darko runs his system. I want to see how he does rotations. I want to see if he is able to get more static lineups, groups that get more together, that we kind of know this is the personality of this 5 guys out on the court. It's like Nick was always experimenting and trying different things so much, but it never seemed like he'd go back to stuff that he would find that was successful. I want to see Darko find success and use it, not just like write it in a book and say we can keep that for later. I want to see you find success with certain combinations of players together out there and utilize it as a weapon in your playbook and how you're going to run this team. And I know Darko will, because that's his style. And maybe Nick is just too confined to his structure of playing the absolute best guys. He wasn't finding the right kind of combinations in the right way. So I'm all excited about this. The versatility of the Raptors with another shooter in the lineup, maybe Otto Porter Jr. back, Joe Wieskamp rising up. We can get more shooters out there. You have like 3 or 4 shooters out there from 3, and then booms like Scotty down low or something like that. Look out. A lot more options. Scotty can pass to anybody, and they can all hit the 3. I like that. That's much better than last year. Monique's saying open gym episode will be spicy good on Gradey. I'm sure it's going to be fun. I mean, I'm actually very curious to see Gradey's effect on the open gym show. It could be very interesting season of hijinks behind the scenes on open gym with Gradey and Scotty and Delano and OG and all the fun we could have watching open gym. Hopefully there'll be a lot more fun back behind the scenes moments than last year. Didn't seem like we had a lot of those feel good, fun open gym moments last year. It was a lot of hanging your head and just kind of in the locker room kind of stuff. Well, we want to see the good stuff. We want to see the smiling. We want to see the happiness. We want to see the jokes. That's right. Stargate saying, I suspect Bobby and Messiah are working on possibly adding a few pieces still. Let's see what happens when free agency opens up. I predict some additions. Yeah. I know for sure there will be, because we have an MLE to use. So we'll definitely get like maybe a veteran player, not Will Barton, but a player kind of like Will Barton, maybe a better fit, somebody that works out better for us. But there could be somebody like that that's a vet that's coming in, added in as the MLE. Now, Thad Young's presence on our team or his status with our team will affect whether we get a couple of these guys or not. It could very well be we turn around and bring Thad back also, guys, and he's still a part of our team. But it could be, I'm fully expecting a new veteran name with the mid-level exception coming in next month in July. So we'll see how that happens. We will have some new names still added to the roster for sure. G saying, nameless, I saw it and had to share. This will be a fun year at the least. Yeah, this is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. Nameless saying, I just hope Darko doesn't come in here and start calling us Dick Nation. Yeah, there's a lot of, seriously, we got to be real careful here. I'm sure that, all right, listen, I want to give an open warning to the administrators of Raptors official accounts on social media. You know, y'all had a misstep last year with Malachi Flynn saying some out-of-pocket things on Women's Day or something like that. And, you know, be real careful with this. You got Gradey Dick. And I know that y'all like to write really interesting captions for pictures on Instagram, official Raptors account. So just tread lightly. I'll just give you a warning. Tread lightly here. You guys have shown that you may not have the best judgment in putting the content out on Instagram. And, you know, just be careful here. There's some places you can fall here with dumb jokes that you think you're funny, but they may not actually be very right to do on the Raptors official account. So I want to see them walk that tight line too, just like Matt Devlin and Jack have to. Raptors admin on social media may have to be walking a tightrope also with Gradey's appearance on our team too. So yeah, I'm going to be watching those captions, Raptors official account on Instagram. Y'all like to be funny with your little puns and stuff. Well, be careful with this one. Seriously, be very careful. Tom Duke's language is on a full effect here. He's got the crying, laughing, and crying. He's got an eggplant. He's got a banana. He's got a cucumber. He's got to press that mouse. and like that button, like button. And he's got some Raptors in there too. I love that. I can read that emoticon language. You're not coming through in an alien language today. I can actually read that today. Good stuff. I love it. Nameless is laughing about it. Cool Cat saying the CBA will break the connection fans have with players because they will be moved around a lot. Even top players will be swapped more often. For example, Scotty could be at 300 million. I don't know if that's true though, Cool Cat. What I got the feeling is the CBA, as it's been described to me, I don't know the inner workings and the real nuts and bolts, but from what has been described to me, is Adam Silver's intent with this CBA and how it's going to change things is that he wants it to go back to the 80s model of the NBA, where every single team has a franchise player. In the 80s, every single team had a top level player, and they had somebody to really get behind as like their top person and feel like they were going to win with them. He wants that feeling back for all 30 of the franchises. So he's encouraging top level players to be equally distributed among the league. No more Bosch and LeBron going to South Beach. No more super team in Golden State. That's why Phoenix did what they did with Bradley Beal while they could still, while the rules were legal to do it. Because the rules change next week. They could not do that Bradley Beal deal after July the 1st. So that's not what I've heard. I've heard that in some ways, look, there'll be more movement as far as the players will have freedom to move in some ways. But in a lot of ways, the whole reason why they're doing this is to make the teams more equal in parity and also to allow teams to have franchise players once again. So not all the concentration of the top guys are like 3 guys on Brooklyn or something like that. So that's part of it. They wanted to fix the league so there's no more super teams. And I like that. I very much like that. I want all markets to have a chance to win in the NBA. I don't want it just to be like, okay, Lakers build a super team and they're the best team for the next 5 years, winning 4 out of 5 championships. No, I don't want that. I want it to be how it has, where a different team comes up and wins the championship every year. Milwaukee, Golden State, Denver, boom. That is more of the wave of the future we're going to see. And that's why Raptors fans need to realize, we can be really good and develop on our own and rise up and snatch that ring on any given year, because Denver did that this year. And it may be our year next year or the year after that. If we keep this team together, it's not going to be like there's some super teams anymore that you have to worry about and build your team to compete against. They are dead. The era of super teams is dead. The 2010 NBA Super Teams League is over. And the more Raptors fans and fans around the league, I don't care if they know, but Raptors fans know that, the better they'll be more informed to stop calling for, we need our next superstar to add to these superstars to this star. That's not how you build a winner anymore. Denver's shown the way on how you build a winner now. You can look at Denver. You can look at Milwaukee, the way they won their championships in the last couple of years, even us. That is more of the future than Golden State winning 3 out of 4 championships in like 5 years or something like that. So, yeah, that's the direction they're going. Now, if this means that players can move more easily from team to team, well, some levels of the players may be able to, but some may not. And I'm talking about people like Pascal, Dame Lillard, the very top number 1 guy on each team. It may be harder for those guys to actually move because they may have to be moved for the number 1 guy on the other teams too. So I'm not totally agree. I think that there is good flexibility for the players because obviously, why would they vote for that in the CBA if it didn't benefit them in certain ways? Now they're getting the ability to be involved in like sports betting, as far as advertising. They're getting the ability to be involved in cannabis. They're getting the ability to do all kinds of new stuff financially. But in some ways, they're losing some of their rights with movement because of the second apron, because of the new rules with the CBA. So we'll have to see how it all actually unfolds and goes. I know Mike, this is an expertise of his, and he could probably correct me if I said anything that wasn't totally accurate just now. But that's what I'm hearing from the news from different people. Some people really hate the new CBA, and some people really like it. I'm one of those people that really likes it right now so far from what I'm hearing. Cool Cat saying Markquis Nowell is from New York City. He will be our confident grinder, winning mentality. So that's why they're calling him Mr. New York. Well, I hope you can cut any ties that you feel towards the Knicks or the Nets because you're a Raptor, baby. And that's the division of the Atlantic against those guys. And maybe you'll feel good about going to your hometown and tearing them up in a Raptor red jersey. I love that. Just do it, man. Be like Chef. Come on to the dark side of the Raptors. Yeah, we'll be the bad guys. We're the heels in the U.S. So come on to the dark side, just like Chef did on his YouTube channel a few years ago when he decided he was sick of rooting for the Knicks and their futility. And he wanted to start rooting for the Raptors. And I love you, NBA Chef, for being a turncoat on your own city and following the Raptors instead. So now, Markquis, you will remember who gave you that chance, and that was Masai and Bobby. And you go and do it just like Fred did, and you will be a legend in Raptors hearts forever. Seriously, you do that. I'm all about it. Let's go. No, Markquis Nowell, let's go. Trevor's saying, I saw that video too with the coach. Tell him he got the two-way contract. Who? Gradey? Grady's not on a two-way, and he won't be. He will not be. I was actually talking about this with somebody yesterday. I think this is what's going to happen because we have 3 two-ways this year. We get 17 players, 18 players this year because of the new CBA. There's another thing that's for the players is they added more roster spots around the league, so more players can actually be involved in the league. That was part of the CBA that they changed. So now there's 3 two-way contracts for our team. Well, Ron Harper Jr. will probably get one of them. We now have Markquis Nowell on one of them, and we have one extra one that's still open. So there will be another two-way player added that will play between both teams, the 905 and the Raptors regular. So I'm speculating, I'm hoping that this prediction comes true that Gabe Brown gets the 3rd two-way contract for the Raptors this year, and he gets to play on the main squad and also the 905 this year. So that's what I'm hoping. It's going to be Gabe Brown, Markquis Nowell, and Ron Harper Jr. on our 3 two-ways. Jeffrey Doughton Jr., a fully rostered player for the Raptors, along with Gradey Dick also. So that's what I'm seeing. Monique saying, Masai made fun of Gradey draft day's fit in a good way, though. Scotty talking to Gradey on FaceTime. Yeah, that's a fun little clip. Good to see. We always get that clip where the front office is calling the draft pick after they make the draft. It's always fun. We saw Scotty's one. We've seen Coloco's one. Now we see Gradey Dick's one yesterday. And it was fun. Masai was saying, what are you wearing, bro? Which was funny. And then, you can tell Scotty and Gradey have talked to each other a lot before. This isn't the first time they've been friends. They have the same management group. And I know that they've introduced to each other and they've met each other in person before. So that's part of it is that like Gradey is not a totally new person to him. They're actually somebody he knows already. So they probably already have a rapport. And like I said, these guys are kind of birds of a feather kind of guys. You can tell. You can tell that these guys are kind of goofy, like don't take life too seriously kind of guys in some ways. But they do take basketball very seriously. And I love that. Let's see. Shirkan saying, love the fact that Raps are stepping away from everybody can defend with long wingspan game to more of what the league has become. Nowell can shoot from anywhere in the gym. Gradey has long range as well, 3-pointers. Yeah, Nowell has really got a nice shot, and he's not afraid to shoot it, and he will try and make big shots when it really, really matters. And I appreciate that about Markquis Nowell. Hopefully it'll translate into the higher levels, and we can see him hit these big shots. Now, he's got to watch out when taking those shots at 5'8" with the land of giants, and make sure he really has a clear path to get those open shots. I'm sure guys are going to leave him open, but maybe not for too long. I also like the way he gets in traffic and finishes. But the main skill that I like about Nowell is his passing. I want to see him set our guys up. And I don't care. He could score like 5 points, but if he gets like 15 assists, I'll be more impressed with that in some ways. He needs to be a threat to score so they keep him honest. He keeps them honest as far as the defense. But if he gets way more assists than scoring, that's the way to go. Seriously, Nowell, you would go far in the league if you really showed that you're an old school point guard that can set other people up in very creative, awesome ways. And I think that's a huge strength of his going into the NBA. MSJ saying, "Oh my God, laugh out loud." Gubbs had a Gradey Dick video. Yes. We a G Dick video. Yes, we have a G Money and a G Dick where he had a Pensair clip. Pensair said G Dick was not a high draft pick, but of course, right, was rather funny anyway. Yeah, I haven't seen Greg's latest clip. I know he's put out a couple this week, but no, I haven't watched that one yet. Like I said, I haven't been able to do my normal research and stuff right now just because, I'm in cottage country with the fam. That's cool. I mean, I hate that he puts Pensair on his shit. I mean, you really shouldn't, Greg. I've saw you try to do like a olive branch to him with some bullshit content you made earlier this year or last year, and it just disappoints me. Honestly, I don't like talking about him. That's why we call him "He Who Shall Not Be Named." And when you're actually putting clips of him in your show, it's not good, man. Seriously, especially if you're getting some traffic, man. You don't want to put any kind of spotlight on him. Once again, the plant that doesn't get any sunlight withers away. So go ahead and let him just wither away, Greg. Please, please. If you're listening to me right now in the kitchen, Greg, I know you said you do sometimes. You're just working. Just stop putting Robert on your shit, please. Mike's saying Lonzo Ball, the trade BS is insane. Gradey went high. Yeah, that Lonzo Ball shit is hilarious. Chicago, you think we're fucking stupid? Seriously. Go ask DeMar. Do you think we're stupid? Ask DeMar. Seriously. What do you think the Raptors are stupid? They're going to take Lonzo Ball from y'all? Seriously. Nah, that ain't happening. Guardian Transit saying, we got ourselves a Fred VanVleet clone. I believe a solid playmaker. Will he be able to conquer the NBA? He's damn sure going to try. That's for sure. And listen, in some ways, this guy seems like he has just the same kind of attitude as Fred did when he came in. Very much, I'm claiming I'm going to conquer. This dude wants to conquer. I'm not going to get in the way of a little conquistador coming in to conquer the league. No, I'm not. I'm going to believe in him. I'm not going to doubt him. I learned my lesson with Fred. I saw Fred's height, and I said, he's not going to make the NBA. And boy, was I wrong. Boy, was I wrong. So I'm not going to make that same mistake and say, oh, yeah, Markquis Nowell, he's too short. He's not going to make the NBA. I'm not making that mistake again. Fred proved me wrong, and I will never, ever doubt the heart over height mentality that these guys have. No, I won't. No, I won't. Denal saying Desmond Cambridge Jr. is looking good, too. Great pickup. Him and Nowell about to light it up. All right, well, I'll have to see what these Summer League guys are when I get back to Toronto. I'll do a dive on our roster and see what I feel like about those guys. All right, let's see. Trevor J saying, we the North don't care what you think of us. We don't care. That's right. Go ahead. Say what you want. You know, y'all have played on Canadians' ability to feel bad about, oh, you're judging me as not nice. Well, fuck that. I'm a Florida man Canadian. And in some ways, I'm very American because I was raised in Florida. And in some ways, I don't have the same kind of Canadian sensibilities like, oh, I want everybody to think I'm a nice person. I don't care. And I hope the Raptors don't care either. That if the ESPN thinks they're stingy or they're mean for not trading their players, go ahead. Be upset, little baby ESPN. Boo, 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 boo. They won't trade us our players. Boo, 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 boo. They won't trade the players. Boo, boo. No, fuck all that. Seriously, and I'm with Trevor J. We don't care. Go ahead and say that stuff down in the U.S. It doesn't matter anyway. It's just a bunch of hot air and bullshit. Such bullshit. You know, all right, here's a good example of just how stupid ESPN is and the way that they think and some of the things they say. Now, look, I'm a YouTube channel. In some ways, I make more sense than they do. Listen to what a take that Skip Bayless has this morning. This is so stupid. Listen to this. He thinks that because Victor is in San Antonio now, that Greg Popovich is going to be jealous of Victor taking his spotlight away from him. This is what Skip Bayless, who's paid to be on TV, millions of dollars to talk to millions of people on ESPN, has said that he thinks, he's predicting right now, that Victor Wembanyama is going to be such a star in the NBA that he's going to overshadow Greg Popovich to hurt his ego, so he's going to be upset with him and he won't like him. Where the fuck does he come from with this shit? Have you not seen Greg Popovich coach for like 30 years already and understand who he is and what he's all about? Skip Bayless, you say you're a Spurs fan, but you don't even fucking understand who Greg Popovich is? You're not a Spurs fan if you don't understand who Greg Popovich is and how he operates. And the fact that you even said this on live TV, you're just wasting all of our time. And I'm wasting even further because I have to talk about it right now. Seriously, does that sound like a credible, knowledgeable sports personality that would say that about Greg Popovich and all the years he's coached, that he's going to be upset or have an ego problem because Victor Wembanyama is more on spotlight? No, that's what he does. What do you think he does with Tim Duncan and David Robinson and all these guys since? You know, seriously. Oh my gosh, Skip Bayless, you have no credibility at this point with that take. I'm sorry, dude. Oh my gosh. And you even call yourself a Spurs fan. That is the most unspurs thing I've ever heard. If you think that Greg Popovich is worried about things like that, you're an idiot. Holy crap. And we're going to listen to them and worry about what they think about our team and what we're doing when they have asinine takes like that. Seriously. Oh my gosh. MSJ saying, I really like Paul Jones. Very good color commentator. And I will say it, like him a bit more than Matt. But I do listen on internet radio, so he's grown on me. Jones has lots of catch sayings I like. Yeah, Jonesy's the radio guy. And like I said, he's been here since the very beginning. So in some ways, people that watch or listen to the games through the radio more often will be more familiar with him. This is a great point, MSJ. Like I said earlier, I don't want to slight Paul Jones or anything like that. It's just we're used to Matt Devlin on the TV broadcast. And Paul Jones does a great job when he has to fill in. You're right. He does have some really cool sayings and stuff like that. Sometimes he brings out those old like similes and metaphors. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, Paul Jones. You can tell that he got them from like a coach he had in like high school way back in the 70s or something. It's like crazy. It's like, wow, Paul really said that. Like, that's some old school shit. Iceman like Gervin's here. The Minutes Police is here. Whoop, 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 whoop. Here comes the police. Whoop, whoop. What is that song? Here comes the beast. Whoop, whoop. My perfect Raps offseason. Re-sign Fred and Pirtle. Trade for DeLon Wright. I love it. Use MLE on a vet. Free agent Nowell. And then we'll be leading 905 this season. Isaiah Thomas, Nate Robinson, light. Yeah, I like this. All right, I want to go over his shopping list here just real quick. Yeah, I love re-signing Fred and Pirtle for sure. And obviously, Gary's already in. Trade for DeLon for Thad Young. If we could do that, I'd totally do that in a heartbeat. I think that's a brilliant move in some ways. In some ways, I don't know if Thad will be able to contribute like he did like 2 years ago for us this year. And if that can line up, and if Washington's doing a fire sale and they're not really trying to keep things too much like they were last year, maybe they will let DeLon Wright come back home. It's great to add that Utah connection back together, bring that bench mob connection back together. I am all about this. DeLon Wright is a fantastic backup point guard that we could have used last year. Shit, if we lose Fred, he could be our starting point guard this year. So I am all about this. I love this move by Iceman like Gervin, and I fully endorse it. If you can pull this off, Bobby Webster, do it. Get DeLon Wright back in a Raptors jersey. We love the homecoming of Jakob Poeltl. You guys don't draft to make mistakes. Well, you drafted DeLon Wright, and if you can boomerang him back to our team, I will be very, very happy. The vibes will go even stronger, especially for that older cohort from the bench mob days of Jakob, Pascal, Freddie, and OG. Having DeLon come back, it'll make you think of that whole how hungry are you when all those guys sat around the table and ate, what was it, brains? Yeah, DeLon was the freaky one. He was the one who ate the most brains. And everybody's looking at him like, DeLon, what are you doing, man? I like it. It's good, guys. It tastes like chicken. DeLon, you're freaking Fred out. Fred looks like he's about to barf. Yeah, that was good vibes and good times. I'm all about this. I love that move so much. And if it can happen, do it. Do it, Bobby. Do it. Blackhawks saying, big up, Lex. Raptor freaks and all people who would love in their hearts. That's right. That's right. Raptors Twitter is toxic and messed up at this point. It is a dumpster fire. Just stay away from there. You just got to be positive Raptor fans that want the best for the Raptors. We want to win more Larry O'Briens. We want to make the playoffs. We want our players to do well. We don't want to sully them. We don't want to slander them. We don't want to put them down. We don't want to fucking be like idiots that fucking hate Fred. We want to be the good Raptor fans, the ones that really care about the team and have the right things in our heart for them to win. We're like the Spurs fans that were waiting for Wemby at the airport yesterday in the 111-degree heat, holding their signs up. That lady bringing those breakfast tacos to big Victor Wembanyama when he got off the plane. What a sweet lady running onto the tarmac. Say, here you go, Victor. Here's your breakfast burritos. Just like you asked for. You want breakfast tacos from San Antonio? This lady's got them for you immediately after you get off the plane. That's the kind of fans we are. Just like those San Antonio fans that were waiting for Victor at the airport. That's a Raptor Freak clan. That's a Raptor Freak cult. That's a Raptor Freak group. And that's who we are right here, baby. And stay positive, Blackhawk. You are one of us, baby. That's right. Nameless is saying, doesn't matter where Gradey was drafted. It's just a number. But we create all-stars here like diamonds in a lab. Yeah. And the kid's smart. The kid has gumption. The kid wants to learn. The kid wants to get better. The kid wants to be the best possible NBA player he can be. Well, you're in Toronto, baby. And we're going to try and get you there, Gradey. Yeah, we're going to try and get you there. Monique is saying that F-150 commercial with Matt and Jack is kind of funny, but awesomeness. I've never seen that video commercial because I don't watch commercials. I'm very smart about avoiding commercials in my life. So I've never seen that commercial. I don't know what it is. It's a truck commercial for Ford, obviously, but I've never seen that commercial, so I can't comment on it. You say it's really funny and it's awesome? Okay, I might have to go find it today. I really don't watch commercials anymore. It's really interesting how I do that. Cool Cat saying, I love that Kansas didn't care and they used his last name, Dick, in their article. Fans use it. That's his name. Eventually the jokes will wear off. He's used to it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a touchy thing in some ways. Maybe that was a joke that I just made. But anyway, I'm just saying it's like, all right, maybe some people will get used to it, but let's think about how immature some of the Raptors nation is. Seriously. And don't ever underestimate the wordsmith and word ideas of people on Raptors Twitter and meme makers and all kinds of different stuff. They don't have any like boundaries. Well, they can go really weird, gross places. In fact, I've heard really off-color bad jokes already from Raptors Twitter about Gradey Dick's name. And some of them are like just kind of cringe. They're kind of like, that is gross. Or maybe I know more about your porn habits than I need to because you just made that joke about Gradey Dick. There's certain lines that people shouldn't go into, but I get it. Kansas was toying around with it, but you got to realize also that's the heartland of America is the Bible Belt. And people that are more likely to be church going and be able to make dick jokes in a way that won't be so like gross and messed up because they're kind of people of God still. And you get in the big city, the city of sin, like Toronto, these dick jokes turn into a little bit more X-rated Mariah Mills kind of tweet kind of stuff, is what I'm saying. So yeah, sure, it can be a wholesome and good in Wichita, but in Toronto, it might get really gross. Yeah, like a brass rail after like the last shift of the night. How about that for a joke? Let's see. Infamous is saying, salute, family. I'm really pulling for Nowell to either make the main team or 905. I enjoy his story and journey. Well, he'll be on 905 for sure this year. Now, we'll see how much he gets to play in the NBA. But this is why Markquis Nowell and his crowd was so overjoyed the other night. It's because you get the two-way, you're going to get to play in the NBA. Your dream will be realized. Ron Harper Jr. got to take an NBA court last year as a two-way. Maybe not a lot of time, but he did get to fulfill his dream of taking minutes on an NBA court. So Markquis Nowell has at least that. He knows he's going to get to play in the NBA, and he's going to get his chance. Now, he's going to get a lot of chances on 905. In fact, I fully am believing he's going to be our starting point guard for the Raptors 905 this season. And this is good because Jeffrey's getting a promotion. He will not be down there at all. Watch. Jeffrey Dowden Jr. will not see G League action this season at all. He will be pretty much a main roster guy this whole time. And Nowell coming in is signifying this. Now, Ron Harper Jr. will definitely be down there with him as a second year. But Jeffrey's in a later year now. He's like in his fourth year in the NBA at this point. And I don't even think that Jeffrey's eligible to play for the G League at this point. So we'll have to see, how it all breaks down. But Nowell is going to be the starting point guard for the 905 this year. And I hope he's setting up Ron Harper Jr., Christian Coloco, and Gradey Dick down there. Seriously, I really do. Rio's here. Good to see Rio McLovin. Once again, 2 days in a row. McLovin's in the house. McLovin, what up, McLovin? Top of the morning to you, McLovin. Prayers to Matt Devlin's foot. That's what I'm saying today. That's right. Mike is saying Gradey is 19 and isn't the player Scotty was. I would caution expecting a lot from him this year. He will get minutes, but not a main role like Scotty had year one. Yes, and yes, and yes. Thank you, Mike. Some people may have unreal expectations for Gradey just because he was projected to be a top 10 pick. That doesn't mean, listen, the way youngsters come in the league, that's why I don't value them anymore. You could be a top 5 pick and you're not even ready to play in the NBA at this point. Seriously, they don't come correct anymore to be ready to step on the NBA court and be a good pro yet. They really do need the G League. They really do need the development time to get better and not just throw them into the fire right away. And that's something that Raptors fans need to realize. Scotty Barnes is very much the exception. He's a number 4 pick, and that's a huge other level. And plus, Scotty came in with a body that was already a bang in the NBA. And Grady's not there yet. So in some ways, Mike's exactly right. Temper your expectations for how much the role for Gradey Dick will be this year. You can expect him to probably be like a Delano, like Delano was in his year, his rookie year. He got to play a bit here and there, but it wasn't like regularly, and it was for shorter stints. And he should play a ton on 905. We really want to see Gradey Dick at Mississauga a lot this season. It'll be very, very good for him. And don't make it an ego thing. It's not a slight to be playing on the 905. Seriously, this is the best thing for you. It was the best thing for Fred. It was the best thing for Pascal. Best thing for Chris Boucher. So follow the path of those guys and understand that. And Christian, same thing for you. If you have to play more 905 this year, do it. Just do it and don't be pissed off or upset about it. It's for your best. It's the benefit for you. You need those long minutes. You're going to get them at 905 more likely than you are on the main roster, Christian Coloco. So all these guys should be down there. I want 905 to win the championship this year because we are a very, very good team with Nowell, Gradey Dick, Christian Coloco, and Ron Harper Jr. running things down there. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Coolcat saying Markquis was a point guard. Gradey was a shooting guard, small forward at Kansas starting lineup. So chemistry and brotherly bond is already there. You know, these guys may have seen Gradey Dick in his highlights, like Scotty, and be like, I'm really interested in setting this dude up for big threes because it's fun. I like doing this for Gary. Why wouldn't I like doing this for Gradey? So there could be a bit of this going on. Seriously, like Nowell is going to want assists and he needs somebody who's going to make the basket. Well, Gradey may be that bucket that helps him get a lot of assists and lead the G League in assists this year. That's the thing I would be doing. If you want to make some challenges and goals for yourself, Markquis Nowell, lead the G League in assists. I know you were trying to lead the NCAA in assists last season. Well, do it in the G League this year, and you will get a lot of eyes on you. And seriously, do it in an old school way, just like Muggsy used to. If you are a very good passer and you don't cause a lot of turnovers, and you can play like that and set up guys and get offense created by being a creator on offense, you still have a place in this game. It may seem like everybody needs to score and everybody needs to be a certain height, but nah, dude, you could do it the way Muggsy did it, Markquis, and I know you will. I love seeing you and Muggsy interacting on Twitter yesterday with Muggsy making the nod to you saying hard over height, and because that very much is his moniker. And then Fred also giving you props too. I love seeing the bond between these little guys in the NBA, Muggsy, Fred, and Markquis Nowell. So it's going to be very interesting. There's a lineage of small Raptor guards, and they're recognizing Markquis coming in, and Muggsy is one of those dudes. And they said, don't forget Damon either from the very beginning. That's right, Damon Stoudemire. Guardian's saying if Fred VanVleet resigns, I have one request. I want him as floor general and moving the ball. I'm pretty sure Darko will want the same. Yeah. I think that anybody who wants to understand if Fred stays with us, how he'll be used under our new coach, Rajaković, go look at Desmond Bane. Go look at Tyus Jones from last year. Those two guys will probably show you the most about how Fred's role may be. Now, Desmond Bane, he was an important player on the Grizzlies, and he did score a lot, but he wasn't the end-all, be-all guy. Obviously, it's John Morant, and people like Jaren Jackson and other people on that team were very important, but Desmond had a very important role. So if Fred's more on Desmond Bane's level this year, will Raptor fans chill out about him being selfish? You know, Desmond has to be a certain level of selfish in Darko's system, but I wouldn't mind Fred being more like Desmond Bane in some ways. I think that those are the places where Raptors Nation could go look if they really want to know how Darko would run Fred. Go look at Tyus Jones and go look at Desmond Bane clips from Memphis, and that'll give you some hints right there. Denal saying if Markquis had Fred's height, he's a better version of him, a true point guard that can hit shots. He's built too. Now, you know, I'm not going to say anything about this. I don't know if Markquis can grow anymore. That would be great if you could get to 6 foot at least, like Fred. I will say this from my eyeball test, it is very true that Fred is more of a combo guard compared to a point guard, and Markquis Nowell is more of a point guard compared to a combo guard. I don't want Markquis Nowell to ever be the shooting guard for the Raptors. He needs to be a straight up point guard. At that height and things like this, he needs to very much be an assist guy. And that is going to be his best path to making it. Sure, he can make big clutch baskets and big time shots from time to time, but he needs to be setting guys up. It'll benefit him for the long term in his career in the NBA if he wants to have a career for a long time in the NBA. So he's got to be a point guard, a true point guard, and he will definitely be more of a true point guard than Freddie. Freddie is not altogether a true point guard. He really is a combo guard at this point because of his work with Kyle in the years that they were both in the backcourt. They both became combo guards to a degree. Even Kyle Lowry's not a straight up point guard anymore because of it. Well, I want Nowell to stay a straight up point guard as long as possible because it'll benefit him. And in some ways, the league needs more guys like that. They need more guys like Muggsy used to be. We've gotten away from the true point guard in the league. Everybody's a combo guard now. So in some ways, having a true point guard is actually kind of bucking the trend of the NBA at this point because everybody's a combo guard at this point. It's really weird. Infamous is saying, I'm concerned about both picks on the defensive and especially Gradey. Yeah. I mean, that was one of the biggest knocks I had on him and why I was telling the Raptors to steer clear of Gradey Dick in my preview of the draft, as I'm really am worried about him on defense. But his prior coaches are saying that he'll work and he'll listen and he'll try and be up to the level that's sufficient for what needs to be keeping him on the NBA court. So I like to hear that as long as he has a gumption and he's going to try and hopefully he's successful, well, he should be okay. And his coaches from high school and Bill Self from Kansas, they both really think that he can have the aptitude and the willingness and the drive to be a capable NBA defender. So we'll have to see how it works. There's going to be rough spots. There's going to be learning the new size and speed of the NBA. And then also kind of like getting your feet under you in that whole time. He's going to get burned. He's going to make rookie mistakes, but hopefully he'll learn and his high IQ will get him savvier and smarter. And, if you have a high basketball IQ, even if you're not the quickest guy, we know with people like Larry Bird and other people in the past, you can be non-athletic and still be very, very smart in your decisions on the court. And that may be something that people are kind of like counting on for Gradey Dick. If he's not athletically a great defender, well, up here, he may be able to be smart enough to overcome that. So that's what I'm talking about there. Yeah. Nowell, his height, we can't do anything about. So it really is going to be the kind of thing where he's going to have to be matched up with a little guy on the other side for the most part. And it may be that may make it tough to play him at times, but who knows? Maybe he'll get really strong like Fred and it won't matter because he's going to be taller than he is physically because of the way he plays defensively. And I'm all about that. And I could see that happening with him. Once again, we're not going to underestimate the fight in these kind of guys' hearts. They have a lot to prove. Those chips on those shoulders of Van Vliet and Nowell, we know about that. Yeah, we do. Monique saying, so much great video insight on YouTube right now on Gradey, etc. Raptors show interview, Kansas assistant coach about Gradey. Good stuff. Good content awareness by Monique here, telling us what to go check out. Check out the Raptors show with Will Liu and Alex Wong. And then there's all kinds of content on Gradey from his Kansas career. So you can go see his highlights and see what kind of shooter he is. G saying that's a valid concern, but Gradey did average 1.5 steals per game, and his timing on blocks has gotten better. Guards do drive by him, but they will work on that. We needed a shooter. Well, if he's going to get burned on drives, well, hopefully you'll be out there with Koloko. Let's just put it that way. So, yeah, and I think it is understated how his steals were in college and that we do need to give him some kudos and respect for that. That there are he's savvy at getting the ball away from people. Well, that's a good thing. We'll have to see how much that translates to the new level. Nameless is saying, do not disturb mode, Alex. That's right. I'll take a strike. I don't even know why you want to strike. I don't know. I'm not. It's all good. I'll take a strike for a good cause any day. All right. No, you're not getting a strike today. Don't worry about it, Nameless. You're all good. All right. I guess I kind of got to cut off the chat, and I'll finish up hopefully by 11:30. We'll see. Where am I? All right, there I am. Denial saying, I agree with G. While not a great defender still, Trent Jr. improved from the Blazers. I have faith Gradey can improve. Markquis is just tiny. Laugh out loud. Desmond is a former Pac-12, I believe. All right, I'm definitely going to go deep dive on the Summer League guys soon. But right now, I'm just going to concentrate on the draft guys. I'm just not educated on them. I have not had a chance to look at them. Nameless is saying, I've almost entirely forgot the bad vibes from last season already. I know. I hope the guys on the team have too. There is a report out that the Raptors have an overwhelming sense of hope and feeling good about things that have changed with the team already with Coach Darko. I know I read a report that Darko flew to Florida and had a dinner with Pascal, and it went really, really well, that they hit it off. And that the overwhelming sentiment around the general Raptors players is that they are very happy about things that are happening. In fact, I think that once again, it can be signified by Gary opting in and also Pascal making the statement in the last couple of days about not wanting to be traded anywhere. Once again, I really love that Pascal did that. That was such a powerful thing that he did. And it really does show, listen, y'all may not understand why people want to play here in Toronto, but the players do, and y'all don't need to understand. Once again, we don't need your verification, validation, We don't need you to be okay with what we're doing. We don't need you to like what we're doing. We're going to do what we're doing in Toronto no matter what. And I trust in Masai, and as a part of Raptors Nation, we are going forward, baby, with the good vibes. And I'm all about it. I forgot about those vibes too. Nick who? Knew what? Nick what? Who did I used to call? I don't even have his phone number in my phone anymore. I don't even know. Like, who was that? I remember somebody with the initials NN, but I don't remember him anymore. Sheer Khan saying things are going to be tight, but the chances of bringing all free agents back is high. That would have to be waived, though. Just one more week before we can find out more. Can't wait for the free agency to start. Yeah, Mike's talked about this. Like, Thaddeus is probably not going to be back, and he will help with some flexibility. And that is a really easy move to make, to do a little bit of moving around with money to still have somebody good come in additionally. So, yeah, I'm excited about this. Everybody said there's no way we could bring back Fred, Gary, and Jakob this summer. Well, y'all are fucking wrong. We're going to do it, and y'all are going to see exactly how. Gary opts in, Fred takes this, Jakob takes this, and boom, the same core is back. And all the hateful Raptors fans that don't understand why we're running it back, well, you can go cry in your pillows and be upset, because we love it, baby. The real ones love it. We're running it back. You think we're mid? We'll go ahead and show you just how fucking mid we are, you motherfuckers that aren't really Raptors fans. You don't fucking believe in Masai. You don't fucking believe in this team. That you think we're going to be fucking mid next year and we're not going to make the playoffs. You're going to be so fucking wrong. And all you non-believers, we're going to call you out on this shit in the middle of the season when it comes up. Us right here, this family, the Raptor Freak family, we're going to call y'all out for not believing in Masai, for not believing in our team, for running it back. And we're going to say, we told you so when this shit comes around and we kick so much ass this year. That's right. We're going to be telling some motherfuckers we told you so. And I hope y'all will. Seriously, go check every name that's saying we're going to be mid and we're not going to make the playoffs right now. Write a list. Make Santa's list, the naughty list, and Raptors Nation. Write it out. Make sure you get their name right so we know where to go give the receipts when things come out the way they're going to this season. Because we need to give these receipts to these negative ninnies in Raptors Nation that think they know all they know about the front office and running it back. And you think it's wrong and stupid and a mistake. Well, you can fucking find out just how you are so wrong. And I'm going to come put those receipts on your table and say, yeah, this is what you said, bitch. Yeah, you were wrong. That's right. I love it. And Nameless is giving me my chat warning. All right, we'll just cut it off there. We'll see how much more there is. I'm going to try and run through this in 20 minutes. Let's see. Monique saying, I hope Markquis gets to meet Muggsy for many reasons at some point. Hard overhyped. Who knows? I'm sure this may happen. If it hasn't happened already, who knows? Muggsy's all over the place. I could see him going to an NCAA game and wanting to meet him because he is very much like Fred. These small guys keep it together. They want to look out for each other. They really do cheer for each other. So I would love to see this too. If we get this picture someday, we'll see Muggsy still shorter than Markquis. Mike is saying, I'm doing the CBA this week. I'm going to talk on the changes. No worries. Awesome. All right. So there you go. Everything I was just talking about with the CBA changes, Mike is going to elaborate at 2:00 on his channel. So if you want more in-depth, knowledgeable information about the CBA changes, the nuts and bolts of all of it, watch Logical Raptors Fanatic today at 2:00. Great timing, Mike, on that. And I'm sure that your piece will get a lot of looks from people that really want to know more about the CBA and how it is going to affect the NBA in the future. So you go, Mike, check out his drop at 2:00. It's all about the CBA. Stargate saying maybe a Morris brother or a Plumlee brother or a guy like Kelly Oubre Jr. for the bench. What do you think? For the MLE? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't like the Morrises. I mean, do we really need them? You know who I'd like to get with the MLE? Serge Ibaka. Yeah, I don't care if he's older. I don't care if he sits at the end of the bench. But in some ways, I want Serge to return. I want another champion on our team. And if we want to, some people will say that's a waste. I don't think it is. Because in some ways, he doesn't need a lot of minutes on the team. He can just be a presence. He can travel with the team. Hopefully, he doesn't take too much time with his moisturizing. But in some ways, I'd like Serge to come back just for kind of like chemistry in some ways and just vet presence, also enforcer stuff, and also just championship experience kind of stuff. There's a lot about Serge Ibaka that's still in the tank. I really do believe, maybe not totally on the court, but there's things about him, and he is indicating he does still want an NBA contract. So I would love to see Bobby and Masai, even if it doesn't totally make sense. And some people are like, he's washed. Why are we getting him? You don't understand what it takes to build a championship team, and his kind of mentality and who he is around the team will help it. Trust me. And, he can be like a big brother who comes back. And a lot of them are already familiar with him and know him real well. I would like that. I really would. So if I had to pick somebody like that coming in, forget about a Plumlee or a Morris. Just get Serge. Seriously. Now, Kelly Oubre is in a different category. He's the kind of guy that, he could be very useful. But in some ways, because we got Gradey now and also Gary's back, Kelly Oubre may not get time on our team. In some ways, he's too similar to like those guys in OG. And I don't know if he'd actually get time. He'd definitely give us more depth, that's for sure. But in some ways, we got to worry about the minutes distribution with these guys. We're definitely going to take some off the top, off Pascal and Fred. Those minutes will go somewhere else. But we got to figure out how the balance will be. And I don't know if Kelly Oubre is the right guy. If we could get him for really cheap and just on the side, maybe. But I mean, seriously, we got Otto Porter Jr., we got OG, we got Gradey Dick, we got Gary Trent Jr. In some ways, Kelly's not necessary, and he may be too expensive for that level, the mid-level. Cool Cat saying, Lex, we could only keep 2 top players with top contracts. Then the rest of the money will be small to spread out. So we develop Pascal, Freddie, OG, then Scotty. With CBA, we only keep 2. Well, it's just that we got to designate who's the important guys, and it may very well be Scotty and Pascal, and all the rest of the guys get secondary contracts. They can be right around 30 million. You've got to understand, Cool Cat. It has a certain cap on the back max players, and sure, you can only have 2 of them, and that's to stop from superstar building. But listen, the way that they look at our team and value our guys, they undervalue them. Well, let's use that to our advantage. Fred could get 30 million a year this year, and it's still not going to count to being like one of those top contracts. It really is those top contracts they're talking about. It's like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown both getting $200 million contracts. So we're not going to have anybody that's up in that beat that high too early. And Scotty and Pascal may be eventually. Not even Pascal may not even get to those levels. It could be like Scotty and somebody totally different that take those 2 ultimate supermax top of the top kind of contracts on our roster. So in some ways, also, you got to realize the bird rights with the luxury tax, as Mike talks on his channel, will allow us to pay these guys a fair price, and they don't have to be max guys. So don't get worried about us having like 3 max guys, because there's levels to it. There'll be like Scotty and somebody else at the very high supermax top of us, and then we'll have guys kind of getting to different level plateaus. Like Fred may get to 30 million a year, and that's it. Pascal may not get paid much more than he's getting paid right now per year. And that those puzzle pieces can fit pretty good when you don't consider actually Pascal is one of those 2 super maxes. So there are ways to do it, and it's changing. And Mike, once again, is the expertise in this area. It really does. And I think I explained that right. Mike could probably tell you better on his channel, but I think that's kind of how I understand it. Is the bird rights with the ability to go into the cap, the luxury tax, just like Golden State has done in recent years. And then the 2 supermax contracts, they got to be like Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum kind of level. Well, Scotty could get to that level, but I don't honestly even see any of the other guys getting to that level right now. And that leaves it open in some ways. So if you look at it my way, I see how we can still keep them all. And we don't necessarily have to keep, like, if it does get to that point where it's like, okay, we can't keep them all, well, we make the tough decisions, and at least we get the option to make the decision ourselves because they're in-house and we have the chips that in control. And it's like, okay, well, at some point we're saying, all right, this is when we got to part ways with Siakam, or this is when we got to part ways with Achua, or this is when we got to part ways with Gary, or whatever. When those tough forks in the road come, I'm trusting in Bobby Masai to make the right decisions about who has to be let go because of these kind of situations. But I don't think we have to worry about this anytime recent, like soon. I don't think we have to worry about this in the next couple years, if not maybe the next 5 years. Mike could probably illustrate it to us better with the real numbers and how it would all fit. But yeah, Iceman saying lots of dick. Yeah, lots of dick with the cucumber there. Yeah, lots of dick riding going on up in here. In the 1980s, only the Lakers, Celtics, Sixers, and Pistons won an NBA title. In the 90s, only the Pistons, the Bulls, the Rockets, and the Spurs. Silver, the Svengali. That's part of it. It's like, look, those teams were like core teams that were kept together for a long time. So they had a history and a culture that was allowed to come around and get those wins over and over again. The league was smaller also. On the down low, we got to keep remembering expansion has happened. And there are like 8 more teams in the league since the 80s. So it's like there's a lot of differences in why there's more ability for different teams to win overall with the parity and different people coming up against their championship. Denver getting their first championship ever. So I like it better when it's wide open and we have varied champions. I don't want dynasty building right now. I'd be so pissed off if the Lakers won a three-peat anytime soon. Fuck all that bullshit. Y'all can talk about your three-peats and the times of the Bulls and the Lakers and all that kind of stuff. I don't give a shit. It's not good for the game. Three-peats are not good for the game. So in some ways, I like the new NBA the way it is. And I want more teams to get championships because, even just one championship can mean the world for a franchise. The Denver Nuggets waited 47 years to get their first championship, and this is going to be transformational. That franchise will have more respect on it and have that history of having a championship in it now forever. And that is a big deal. We know about that here in Toronto. So I want other people to get that taste, that good feel of celebration. And I don't want like certain franchises to hoard them like the Bulls and the Celtics and the Lakers have in the past. So yeah, I'm all about the parity. I really am. Cool guy saying Denver shows that every player is a two-way player with 3-level shooting. Same thing with Miami. It just depends on the aptitude and the willingness. Some guys don't want to work hard on defense. They'll never be a two-way player. They could have the skills and they could be a very good two-way player, but if they don't value defense, they won't do it. Nameless saying, this ain't Fred VanVleet 2.0. This is Jose Alvarado. Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, I guess from the passing side standpoint, sure. But for me, that the mindset is definitely Fred's mindset. That is what Markquis Nowell has. He has Fred's mindset coming in. Seriously, he's betting on himself. Seriously. Poor man's version of Alvarado. Okay, maybe. Nameless saying, I've never seen this athleticism or explosiveness in Fred's game ever. So, yeah. I don't know about that. You're talking about with Nowell. Well, listen, let's not pump up Nowell to put down Fred. I'm just saying he has the same mindset. He has the same kind of attitude that Fred did. And I'm not going to underestimate that. I'm not totally saying their games line up. Obviously, Nowell's shorter than Fred. And in some ways, Nowell's a better playmaker. But Fred may be better at certain other things himself than Nowell is. So he's definitely stronger than Nowell. So let's see. Stargate saying Skip needs to retire. Yeah, that's ridiculous Popovich take. I mean, seriously, how can anybody listen to him after something so dumb that nobody knows? Nobody thinks that. Seriously, nobody thinks that Greg Popovich worries about his own ego and him being a celebrity or anything. He's the exact opposite of that. In fact, he hates the spotlight. He's very much more like Tim Duncan than being worried about like Nick Nurse being in the spotlight. So it's like he's not Nick Nurse, Skip Bayless. He doesn't give a shit. He has no ego in this. All right, let's keep going. Blackhawk saying Gradey is Canadian now, so I call him Grade A. You get a dunk for just something dumb like that. Sometimes you can get a dunk for something really silly and stupid. So let me see. Where's Blackhawk? Is Blackhawk on here? This is going to be the first dunk for Blackhawk. That's crazy. Whenever I put somebody's name down on here for the first time, I'm like, holy crap, they should have a lot of dunks. They're always here. All right, Blackhawk, you're on the dunk sheet for doing the grade A. Yeah, that's pretty good. Blackhawks, great nickname from G. I like that. Diane Hart saying, good morning, Alexi and friends. What a time to be alive as Raptors fan. I'm happy to see the moves they're making for next season. Me too, Diane Hart. It's got the enthusiasm of the fan base riled up once again. I thought Darko did the trick already. Whoa, Gradey came in and finished the job. Yeah, there's a lot of people very excited about Gradey Dick at 13, the selection for the Raptors, and the promise and the interestingness of this new young man coming to Toronto, coming to the big city from the middle of nowhere. You are not in Kansas anymore, Grady. You are in the city of the Emerald City. It's not the Emerald City. It's the Hog Town. It's the Big Smoke, Toronto. And you can ask Gary Trent Jr. about this city, and you will fall in love with it too, just like Gary did. So, Grady, I'm glad you're here in the 416 here in Canada right now, and enjoy your time. I hope you're down at OVO, getting to know the facilities and learning, maybe hanging out with some of the other players that are here right now, working out, Coloco, Delano, Scotty, those guys down there, Ron Harper Jr. Hopefully getting to know your teammates and maybe even getting some scrimmages in, getting some shots up, getting a little bit of back and forth passing with Scotty on the court and just messing around. That'd be a very, very good thing to do today. Let's see. Wayne Stranger saying Nowell looks like a dog, aggressive attitude. I love it. Yeah. Yeah. If we felt like we've lacked some things on our team last year, well, the dog in him actually is something we're going to get back. That's what Chris Boucher said. We need an underdog. We need a chip on our shoulders. We need somebody who's kind of slighted in some ways, even if he's not slighted. He has a mentality he's slighted. He has something to prove. Well, that's Markquis Nowell. And just like Fred came in like that with that energy when he came in as an undrafted player in a two-way, well, I'm hoping Markquis Nowell can have the same effect. Like I said yesterday, when you have that guy at the bottom of the pecking order on the roster, like Nowell, who has so much to prove, he puts some gumption and spirit in the guys above him to compete and try and stay ahead of him. Fred had that effect when he came in. He made DeLon, Kyle, everybody, Corey Joseph better because they're like, holy shit, Fred's coming up and he's going to take my spot. And I better play better myself. He just brings the competition up on the team because that dog, that spirit is at the very bottom of the pecking order. Well, that just naturally makes everybody else get stronger and play harder because they have to compete with him to stick to their spot. So I'm excited about it. That was a big need we needed, was dog, underdog kind of mentality, chip on your shoulder kind of stuff. We got it back. Monique saying, from watching Markquis's highlights, love his passing already. Wow. No, he's an amazing passer. Seriously, he's a great alley-oop guy. In fact, I want to see him oop to Koloko so much in the 905 in Mississauga this year. I want to see that be one of the main things they do. Eric Curry, you better be fucking running some lob passes from Nowell to Koloko this year on the 905. You know, I know that you're going to have to mirror what Darko does. That's part of why you did what you did with the 905 last year is what you did, what Nick Nurse wanted you to do. Well, this is going to be totally different. And this could be quite a challenge for Eric Curry as the coach of the 905. Doing a totally different kind of system because he's going to have to do something that mimics the Raptors main roster. And it's not the same coach. So that'll be an interesting thing to watch with Eric Curry. How much is his coaching strategies and style going to change from last season with the G League just because he's going to be doing stuff under Darko's umbrella of coaching now? So I'm excited about that. Blackhawk saying our main roster is already full at 16 players. If Fred and JP resign, one person will have to be waived. Ron can't be on two-way back-to-back unless the CBA changed the rule. Masai may have a trade. I didn't know that. I don't think that's true. I've seen guys get two ways 2 years in a row. I mean, Jeff Doughton's been on a two-way for 3 years in a row, actually. Seriously, he was on a two-way with us last year. He was on a two-way the year before, and he was on a two-way before that. So I don't think that rule is true about being on a two-way back-to-back. I think you can do that. And I think it's actually quite common for guys that come in their first 2 years to be on a two-way 2 years in a row. So I fully expect Ron to be on a two-way. You know, some people will have to be waived. I mean, Will Barton's still on our roster right now. And, you know, Thaddeus is probably the writings on the wall. Seriously there, too. But also remember this, Blackhawk. As I said, there's 18 players on, or 17 players, 18 players on our roster this year. There's 15 regular roster spots as normal, and then 3 two-way contracts. So there's an 18-person roster instead of 17 now. So there's going to be an extra spot still. So just so you know. Monique saying, I saw that too, Lex, about Pascal and Darko having dinner. W stream all around. Keep at it as always. Raptors forever. That's right, Monique. Well, you're keeping on top of it. I'm trying to keep on top of it, even though I'm on vacation. You know, I did see that. And I like to see that Darko's going around and meeting with the Raptors individually and getting to know them on a personal level the way he wants to as friends. And letting them know, I'm not just your coach. I care about you, and I'm coming to tell you that, and we're going to get to know each other, and I hope you like me. And I think he's pretty easy to like, very, very easy to like. And I'm seeing really good reactions from our Raptors all around in different ways. It's very good. It could be that Pascal went and met him at dinner, and then he said the next day, I want to be a Raptor for my life. It could be, seriously. A Blackhawk saying the only space we have is 2 vacant two-way spots. We can't take anyone else unless we waive or make it for a 2-for-1 trade. Well, we'll waive some people. I mean, we made tough decisions every summer, whether it's Yuta, Svi Mahalik. You know, these decisions can be made. It could be, I don't know what happens with Joe Weezy. It may be that Gradey comes in and we don't need Joe Wieskamp anymore. There could be a lot of, you know, whatever their aptitude of what they're going to do. There's leeway with stuff. We know this. You see what Wancho kind of came in, came out, was around for a little bit. There's a fluidity to our roster that will happen this summer as usual. I could predict maybe it's Malachi, Will Barton, and Thad Young that will not be on our team this year coming up. And that somehow, some way, these are the changes that happen. So things can get freed up. You may be surprised how quickly that can happen. So we'll have to see. MSJ saying at Nameless, yep, all the bad vibes are gone. And in Blackhawk, yeah, there has to be a trade coming. Not anything big, just contract matching to free spots. But we may waive a few of our older players. I think we're going to waive. We're going to waive somebody. It could seriously. This might be Flynn's end of the road with us. Seriously, he got his chance. We'll have to see how this goes. We waive Flynn, and then all of a sudden he goes to another team. Well, good for him. I wouldn't be upset if this happens. And if we need to make room, I'm okay with getting Malachi out of here. Thaddeus is probably likely to be gone too. So Kareem saying, does anyone know of Grady's introduction presser? Well, I saw Orrin Weisfeld say yesterday on Twitter that they have scheduled the press conference to introduce Gradey for Monday. So they're not going to do it this weekend. They're going to let Gradey have a good time with Scotty, hanging around in the city. Hopefully they're not partying or doing anything crazy, but there's definitely celebrating this weekend for the draft pick and just being here, getting oriented, getting his place that he's going to stay, and kind of getting everything organized first. And then Monday, they're going to introduce him at the press conference on Monday. That's what Orrin Weisfeld is reporting. Nameless is saying, I'm so proud to be a Raptors fan again. This feels more like we used to. Yeah, there you go. There you go. In some ways, the confusion, the weirdness, the negativity and stuff like that is gone from last season. And now we have hope and optimism. I'm totally with you too, Nameless. It's just something about your spring and your step. When you feel good about where the Raptors franchise is at, and when you don't, it's a different thing. You kind of feel like hung down with something around your neck, kind of like, ugh. But when you feel like things are in a good place, hey, it's real easy to smile and laugh and have a good time for sure. Name was saying, bravo, Masai, you fixed it. See, there you go. There you go. Quit doubting Masai, Raptors haters. Please, just trust in Masai. Rely on Masai. He will bring us through. He made the best head coaching decision. Seriously, this is exactly what we need to do. We got to cut Nick Nurse's negativity out of here. NN is negative ninny. That's what it stands for. Not even Nick Nurse anymore. Negative ninny. That's what that little NN on his hat means. And he went and got such a great coach, a humanistic coach, a coach that cares about his players. And we didn't have a coach like that the last couple of years. Seriously, he cared about his players, but not on the level Darko does. So it's a very, very different thing. Name was saying, if OG is a licensed plumber, Masai is the master plumber. I love bringing the OG plumbing company up in the off season. That's true. I don't know what Masai is. He's probably like the commissioner of the plumbing association. He's like, you want to be a plumber in Toronto? You want to shut the water off like OG does, our master plumber? Well, I'm the commissioner of plumbing, and I will give you that license to plumb on our court. Shut them off. Yeah, Scotty, you are shutting the water off. There you go. Yeah, I like that. That's pretty good. I like that. Let's see. Nameless is also saying he's not stronger than Nowell, bro, but you'll learn that soon enough. Well, he is now. Nowell's just a skinny kid from school. He's not built up yet. Fred was all right. Listen, I'll tell you this right now, Nameless. When I saw Fred come into the team, he was a skinny little kid, just like Nowell is right now. No, not as big. Seriously, he's going to get more muscle on him. You see Fred, you look at Fred, 905 Fred, and you look at Fred now. He's a totally different body. Totally different body. There's way more muscle on Fred now than when he was a little kid coming into the 905 with his little goatee and his shortcut. Seriously, he was skinny at that time. And Nowell, in some ways, has got that skinniness to him. He's maybe a little thicker in some ways, but he's a little dude, and he can get in the weight room and get more filled out like Fred did. I'm not going to say there's no way that Nowell is stronger than Fred right now. Fred has these clamp hands. He's doing the heavy ball in the offseason. He's got these hands that can pry the ball out of the hands of Nikola Jokic. Yeah, he's strong. Fred is very, very strong. And I can't say that Nowell's stronger than him. I can't. I don't know yet. I haven't seen him play. And I'm going to go by what I've seen Fred do already. And that's wrench the ball out of NBA centers' hands as a little guy on the court. That is a strong person. You can take that ball from a 300-pound man and you're much smaller than them. That's a strong person. So I respectfully disagree, Nameless. Bam. MSJ saying, I'm hoping for a Mexico City team, to be honest, a Latin American team that would be fun for me to follow too. And yeah, I really hope Skip leaves the NBA soon. He has become really annoying. Perkins too. And they're all annoying. All right, we'll do the the Sunday special report on ESPN and just how fucking annoying they are tomorrow. Tomorrow, ESPN, the thing I was going to do a couple weeks ago, but I put off. We're going to talk about ESPN and how it's a cesspool. It might as well just be a TMZ channel at this point. We'll talk about ESPN tomorrow. Fucking stupid ass channel. Yeah, we'll talk about them. But yeah, I like Mexico City team also. I think that would be a great idea. Make the league more international. And I'm all for Mexico City getting an expansion team. Sure. Blackhawk saying, gee, thanks. I'd rather work with his first name. I'll leave the last name to everyone else. Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm totally with you, Blackhawk. It's like, seriously, I can be like Scott like this. It's like, no, we don't need to say his last name. I don't know how Scotty's going to deal with this. Seriously, it's too goofy. In some ways, Scotty may be making some weird dick jokes just because Grady's around or something like that, or maybe he'll just stay away from it. I know when he plays Fall Guys, they talk about the glizzy and stuff like that. Yeah, there's some really immature talk on Scotty's Twitch last year about glizzies and stuff like that from playing Fall Guys. I remember watching that. It's going to be crazy. But yeah, let's see. All right, he's saying, yep, trade is the only way to sort out who stays unless a player walks and forces front office to pivot. I'm all about, like, listen, I'm just going to trust them. We'll let the little details about the roster unfold as the proper stages happen. Summer League, get Summer League players. Maybe somebody wows something like Jeff Doughton did last year in Summer League, and he has a path onto our team all of a sudden. Training camp, preseason, moves in the free agency, re-signing our free agents, a trade. This all happened in July and August, and we'll just have to sit back with the popcorn and just be like, all right, let's see what you got, Masai. Nom, 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 nom. Okay, Thad this. Okay, Malachi this. Nom, 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 nom. Just keep watching. All right, I love to see this. One of the original Raptor freaks, one of my favorites, who hasn't been here for a while, but I'm so happy to see once again Omari Parsons is in the house. What up, folks? Missing y'all. Good to see you, Omari. Listen, y'all, if you need to rent, buy, get a mortgage, you need a place to live, Omari's your dude over on the 905 side of the greater Toronto area. He can help you all over the greater Toronto area, I'm sure. Look up Omari Parsons in the phone book. He is a realtor. He can help you find a place to live. So check out Omari. Well, one of my favorite Raptor freaks, and so happy to see your name in the chat this morning, man. Nameless is saying, W stream, enjoy the sunshine, Lex, and have a great day, everyone. Thank you, Nameless. Yeah, I'll finish up right now. 2:06, a little bit over 2 hours. Adrienne is always like, you won't make 2 hours. You're going to go over, and she was right. All right, let's see. Blackhawk saying, Nick Nurse-like players had the opportunity to develop, but the popularity got to his head. I pointed out the development issue about Nick Nurse when Matt Thomas was around. That is 3 years Nick Nurse had a chance to grow. It is really interesting because Nick was such a hot shot, and he really was a breath of fresh air 5 years ago. And he really came in like a ball of thunder. But in some ways, he didn't improve his bag of tricks over time. And as I said, he got figured out. You really got to be cutting edge and ahead of things. When you get into habits and people really know your move and they can telegraph what you're going to do as a coach, you really kind of get figured out, and it messes up what you're doing. And to a degree, this has happened to Nick in the last 2 years. It's just his playbook is too predictable at this point. And that's why we needed to shake things up, and we're going to be much better for it. I agree with this. Matt Thomas is a very good example of somebody that he didn't totally utilize early on, and that we kind of could see it already there. Well, we saw more examples of it as time went on. There was just more and more guys is like, why don't you use Delano more? Or why don't you use Malachi in this way more? Or why is Koloko never ever getting to play this past season? There was just too much of that kind of stuff with Nick. And it was always the detriment to our bench players for the positive for people like Fred and Pascal. And, somebody wrote something yesterday that's absolutely fantastic. In fact, I kind of want to go find this and read this real quick. Let me go find Fred Propaganda on Twitter real quick, because he posted something yesterday, and it was just brilliant. And it's exactly right, guys. Exactly right. And I want to see if I can find it again. Maybe I can't. It always happens. I try to find stuff, and then I do not find it. I want to find it now, and I can't. Okay. All right, this is it. I'll find it real quick. This is Raptors Truth. And this guy's weird. Sometimes he's really good and sometimes he isn't, but I think he's exactly right on here. And I want to put this on blast. Raptors Truth on Twitter is saying, why Raptors fans soured on Fred VanVleet. It's incredibly rare when NBA fans turn against an all-star. The game is so dominated by stars that are universally loved by even other fan bases. However, Fred VanVleet has turned many local fans against him. How? After the championship year of 2019, fans were all on board the Freddie bandwagon. He had an addition to the family and suddenly started shooting the lights out at the exact perfect time. For several playoff rounds, he was either hot or on fire. It was an epic run of great shooting, and the team needed his outside shooting to balance off the massive twin attacks of Kawhi and Pascal. Kyle was coordinating the whole team, doing whatever was needed to keep it all rolling. The year after that, Fred was in the starting lineup with more minutes and putting up big numbers. Plus 6.6 points per game, plus 1.6 boards, plus 1.8 assists, plus 1 steals over his numbers from the year before. Sadly, the team flamed out in the playoffs, but without Kawhi, there was a lot more ball, and Freddie used his share very well. Fans loved him. The 2021 season, it felt like some Raptor fans started souring on Fred a bit. His efficiency dipped a bit, and he got the chucker label from some and a bit too ball dominant from a few others. While his scoring was up plus 2 points a game, his 3-point percentage dropped from 39% to 37%, but with 2.3 more attempts per game. The same problem happened to his 2-point shooting, more attempts, lower efficiency. That happens to a lot of shooters when they first turn into volume shooters. He was simply taking too many shots, and fans were noticing. However, the team around him needed to take those shots as they were weak from three-point land. Fans didn't care. They just saw the poor shot selection. The year after was Fred's all-star year, and you would expect fans to be all on board the Fred bandwagon. Many were, but not everyone was. By now, Fred had a vocal minority of fans that had soured on him. It didn't happen at the start of the year as Fred was powering his way to an all-star nod. It happened after that when he pulled up injured and it was clear to everyone he was giving it all to get the award, then cruise to the playoffs. Sadly, Fred would get injured. It wouldn't be reported, and his playoff performance was bad. He was slow at the point of attack and got destroyed by a very speedy Maxey in Philly. Fans heard after the fact of his injury, but it was far, far too late. The damage to his reputation was done. The vocal minority had a ton of ammunition, and they were looking for a scapegoat for the destruction by Philly. Fred, the new all-star with a bit of a reputation as a chucker, took all the blame. It wasn't deserved because of his injury, but his great play all the way up to the all-star break rubbed many the wrong way. Last year, it didn't really matter what Fred did. He was a scapegoat anytime the team lost, and that happened regularly. The team's inconsistency was mirrored by Fred's inconsistency. His three-point shooting hit personal lows at 34% for the year. Ball hog was all over fan comments. Suddenly, Fred wasn't just having a bad year. He was holding the team back. He wasn't letting Scotty play enough point. He wasn't passing enough for the record. His assists were up to the highest levels he's ever had, by the way. The team was around him was so desperate for three-point shooting, Fred was jacking up everything he could just to try and keep other teams honest out high. The biggest fan beef seemed to be the bench not getting any minutes from a desperate head coach trying to win at all costs. Nick Nurse loved to ride his starters, and Fred got as much floor time after Kyle left that his short legs could handle. Fans saw the team struggling, saw the bench getting no minutes, and while blaming Nick, somehow Fred got hit with some stray bullets as well. He was gunning for a new contract, sucking up all the minutes he could, and jacking up every ball he could just to get paid. Well, that was the complaint anyway. The reality was much closer to Nick Nurse played his team that way. Fred shot about the same volume he usually did, just a bit worse from three. And yes, it was a contract year, but Fred's usage was the same for the past 3 years. Now, Fred's well-known saying, bet on yourself, has turned into a sour saying for many fans. It rings selfish to a fan base that has largely soured on Fred far, far too much for what he's done for this team. He's been close to an all-star several years and got the nod one of those years, an incredible feat in the NBA for a short, undrafted guard. Masai's team construction seriously lacking three-point shooting has forced Fred to play a certain way, and fans see that as being a ball hog and don't see the deeper team construction issues. The loss of Grode, Kyle Lowry, then thrust Fred into a team leadership role, and the team struggled. Fred gets some blame for that as well, deserved or undeserved if you choose. In a week or so, Fred VanVleet is going to make a huge decision for his family and his personal life and his career. He's worked extremely hard to overcome massive odds against finding so much success in the NBA. He absolutely should be an incredible Raptors story, one that fans love. Undrafted little guy turns into an all-star, helping his team win a championship. Sadly, poor roster construction and a head coach doing anything to win have inadvertently turned many fans against this incredible achievement. Fred has also turned in some poor performances at some critical times, and I'm sure accepts his fair shares of the fan criticism. However, from what I've seen, it's gone far, far too far. We can say an overpay for Fred as an unrestricted free agent now is a bad move for this cap team without tarnishing that what Fred has done here in Toronto. We can agree this core group of players isn't contender level right now and discuss replacing Fred without attacking his character or accomplishments. That's what a mature NBA fan base would do. They would have quality analysts that dig through the easy blame game scapegoating to help fans understand why Fred did what he did. We don't have that, sadly. As a fan base, we've let one of our truly incredible homegrown players down in a massive way. I've contributed to some easy scapegoating, not digging deep enough regularly enough to help fans understand the bigger dynamics at play. I tried, but it clearly hasn't been enough. Whatever Fred chooses to do this July, I'll be happy for him. Undrafted, playoff championship hero, all-star, 6 feet of pure, unstoppable desire to win. I hope he decides to stay in Toronto. I hope his deal allows the team to fit enough quality top players around him to win another championship. I believe he can reach the heights of Kyle Lowry's fame here. But wherever he goes, he'll always have this fan. He's earned it. And there you go. That's from, as I said, RaptorsTruth, written yesterday on Twitter. I thought it was just so well written in a lot of ways. I don't totally agree with all of it, but most of it I do agree with. And I really do think that people need to read that and really truly understand. Sure, Nick Nurse was directing a lot of what Fred's done in the last couple of years. And if you blame Fred for being overplayed, you should be actually blaming Nick Nurse. And sure, you could probably blame Masai and Bobby a little bit for the roster construction lacking three-point shooting. But really, in reality, if you think about it, if Otto Porter Jr. wasn't hurt last year and Nick had utilized Joe Wieskamp or some of the other guys around, this would have not have been so much on Fred's shoulders. So, yeah, in some ways, I love what he wrote so much. And I think that casual Raptors fans need to read it and fully understand the whole picture because I thought that it was very well written and it's exactly right. All right, let's keep going on that note. I love that that tweet by RaptorsTruth. I finally saw something from him that I really like. All right, let's see. But yeah, I wanted to read that because of Blackhawk's statement. MSJ saying the last name in a few weeks, no one will care. They will have to use his last name or else it will always be there as an issue. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it all gets navigated. I'm sure there's going to be funny moments. There's going to be phrasing moments. It'll be just like the show Archer. It was like, did you just hear what you said? I mean, they had one of those moments on the NBA draft. Who was it? Fat Joe or somebody? He came on the show and he said, I love Dick. They said, who do you like in the draft? Fat Joe. And he says, I love Dick. He said that. And everybody's like, whoa, pause. What did you say, Fat Joe? You said what? I said, I love Dick, is what he said. It's crazy. Jimmy saying, I love seeing Scotty talking to Gradey on draft night. I'm hyped for the chemistry. Have a great day. Thank you, Jimmy. Pope of positivity. I hope you have all the positive things happening for you also in your life, Jimmy. We love you, man. Mischief saying, Gradey Dick, good replacement. It's better than Nikola Jurisic. Let's see. MSJ saying, interesting. I think Fred is on the slide, and it's the big contract I don't want the Raptors to sign him for in 3 years. I don't see him being a better player than he is now. Could have been Nick, though. I think it's this. I think he's a very good player. He will be a good player for this contract. We'll see as it goes how it changes. But listen, if he's not overplayed, he won't be run down. He'll play at a higher level overall. We cannot look at the end of the year after he got hurt in New Orleans going into the Philadelphia series 2 years ago. We can't look at that time as being anything like Fred because it wasn't him, and he would have done it totally different if he could do it over. So I think that if Darko responsibly uses Fred the right way, he can keep him healthy and he'll look way better out on the court. And Raptors fans will be more confident in Fred playing the way he should. So listen, once again, when Lowry's contract was coming up near the end with him, with Raptors, I said, pay him whatever he wants. He's owed it because he's a champion. He did a whole bunch of work for us already. So in some ways, you pay legends in your team after the fact, even if they're not going to be getting the same return on it. And some people say, well, that's bad business. No, it isn't, because you honor the culture, you honor the legend, you honor the person for the work they've already done. So I don't mind Fred getting paid. And if you want to compare it to output and what we're getting for the money, sure, you go ahead and do that. But I don't care. He's earned whatever money we're going to pay him because of what he's already done. So even if his game slides, well, that's up to Darko to cut his minutes and give his minutes to somebody else. And in some ways, that's an opportunity I don't mind happening, just in case. So I have no problem with them paying him money, even if he doesn't seem like he's worth it. Seriously, that's just bullshit. He's already worth it because of what he's already done. Blackhawks saying if a coach does what he or she is supposed to do, Fred would not get a bad rep. Coaching is important. Lack of coaching causes chaos. Yeah. In some ways, it's not fair, the Fred hate, because Nick kind of put him in a bad place. It's totally true. Kareem Thomas saying, who wrote this on point article about Fred? That is Twitter, RaptorsTruth. Now, RaptorsTruth can be a troll and sometimes writes really stupid shit too. And I it's borderline, but that one was really, really good. And I think is one of the best arguments against Fred haters ever that I just read. And that's why I want to put it on blast and read it verbatim on here today. I'm glad I reminded myself to do it after your comment, actually, Blackhawk from before. That gave me a cue to go find it and read it. It was a little long, but I felt like it was worthwhile reading. Yeah, I thought it was really good, Kareem Thomas, for sure. MSJ saying, okay, RaptorsTruth made solid points. Blame Nick Nurse if he was instructing Fred to play as he did, but Fred has no chance of reaching the greatness of Lowry. He never valued himself over the team. That I'm not going to believe that either. See, that's another lie that people think about Fred. Kyle, in some ways, did value himself over the team. In some ways, I think Kyle's more of an egomaniac than Fred is. Seriously. But you don't get mad at Kyle for being an egomaniac. You know, I think that Fred is accomplished just as much as Kyle has in some ways. You don't think he can ever get to Kyle's level? Well, if he wins the second championship in a Raptors jersey, he's over Kyle's level because Kyle's only got one. So there is a path to Fred and Pascal being greater Raptors than Kawhi and Kyle. Trust me. They just got to win that second Larry O'Brien, and then it's done. They're greater Raptors because they have 2 championships. It's that simple. It's just that simple. All right, guys, thanks for joining me today. Let me just real quick recap in the next 9 minutes, so I finish before 2.5 hours. Matt Devlin, we know you broke your foot this summer, and we're really sad to hear this accident in the weight room. We love you, brother. We want all the healing vibes going to your foot and making you feel better and get you back on your feet and ready to call the Raptor games for next season. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to have to avoid the pitfalls of the rookie's new name. And I'm sure there's going to be some golden moments between you and Jack this season. We look forward to seeing you back in the booth with Alvin and Jack next season. We love you, Matt Devlin. Sharing the love for Matt Devlin. We want you to get better and get back on your feet. Enjoy the rest of your summer when you can, or get back by the end of the summer for the fall so you're ready for the Raptor season. We love you. We love you so much. Yeah. Cool Cat Sam, we have to be careful with RaptorsTruth. He goes after Masai's front office too. Yeah, he has. That's what I'm saying. He goes after the front office of Masai. But on this piece, the way he wrote that about Fred, that was good stuff. I'm really happy and proud that he did that. Yeah, so the the Summer League has been announced. We're going to have our first Raptors Summer League game Friday, July the 7th against Chicago Bulls, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. So be ready for Summer Leagues coming in quick. July the 7th is when it starts, y'all. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching me today, and have a great day. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Tomorrow, Sunday special report on ESPN being a tabloid, stupid-ass cable network that nobody should probably even watch. So, yeah, let's see. Blackhawk saying all players have egos. Coaches are supposed to manage the egos. When a player goes off range, coaches to rein that player in a professional way. I will agree completely 100% with that. Darko's approach is very interesting. He wants to feed their egos to a degree, but in a healthy way. He describes the players as superheroes, as athletes that can do something that many people around this world cannot do. So you want them to feel like Superman, invincible, strong, and crazy. And you can see the way the Grizzlies were the last couple of years, the swagger and the looseness, and Dylan Brooks and Tyus Jones. Those guys had something to them, and as part of the Darko effect. So you want to pump them up and make them feel inflated with their egos as superheroes, but you want to do it in a healthy way, and in a way that they're not coming at each other or having issues with each other. So I like Darko's approach, and I think that in some ways the ego can actually be a very good power in a player. It's important. You have to have an ego to an extent to make the NBA. That's for sure. All right, Lowry, baby. All right, MSJ. All right, y'all. Let's go Gradey. Let's go Darko. Let's go Nowell. Let's go Raptors.